There we go.
We just live.
What's going on, Paul?
Good. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I don't know what's up with me lately. I've been working on my house for like the last 3 weeks. I'm actually enjoying my house for some reason.
No son-in-law.
Yeah.
That
It hasn't been for a while. But
you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I fixed a lot of shit and updated a lot of shit. Now I got some guy coming to do my stairs because we took the carpet off that was there when we bought the house, and underneath it's all worn to shit.
I know the feeling. I got to do that with my stairs for the basement.
Yeah. Well, these aren't my basement stairs. These are the fucking stairs that go upstairs.
Yeah, but if I want to do laundry, I got to make sure that shit's working.
Yeah. Yeah. But they got to be sanded down. Fucking the posts are too short now. They got to be replaced.
I basically just have to replace because they're kind of old and rickety. So
you can buy if it's a straight run.
Yeah,
you can actually buy a whole staircase that you put together yourself.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, my wife's like, you should get this. It's only fucking this much. And I'm like, my stairs, the top 3 stairs are a bit narrower because there's like the landing, whatever you want to call it. If it was a straight run, like my basement stairs are a straight run.
I have a straight run, but my thing is, do I go and get the, I'm going to probably check that out. But I'm like, well, I have the measurement. If I just get this piece and all the other little side pieces, I should be good.
It's a kit. The whole thing fucking comes as a kit.
Yeah.
You just got to measure it, and then you got to measure the angle, because if it's like this, the stairs are going to be like this. If you don't buy the ones that the cutting in the side piece has to be the right angle.
You've never cut your side piece.
Yeah. I just heard her backing into the driveway.
No, that's your wife.
Yeah. No, she's out today.
Nice.
But
so wait, have you talked to Johnny lately since Friday?
Hollywood?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's mad at me because I paid him a certain amount for that. Because that wasn't a big budget show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you should have known that going in.
Yeah. When I paid him, he's like, "Is there more coming when the check comes in?" And I'm like, "No."
Yeah, this is it. Like, how much do you expect for that little amount of people?
Have I ever ripped anyone off on a comedy show ever?
No. And speaking
anything you can say about me, you can't say that.
Right. Like even me, even that thing where even Eddie came out last week. Yeah. I give him money too. I try to go above it. Like even your first paid gig. Mm-hmm. I made sure you got paid. Like you guys weren't supposed to get paid, the 3 of you. We made sure you guys got a little something.
Yeah, I should probably throw Bobby something. I didn't throw Bobby something because it was a guest spot.
Right. Well, listen.
But he gave me a 2025 PBA card, so here.
There you go. You're halfway there.
Yeah. I'm okay if I get pulled over in a fucking DeLorean.
There you go. Would it be your first time?
I know.
And if you're in a DeLorean, you probably got cocaine on you, so you probably need that PBA card just to either cut it up or hand to the cop or both.
I wonder how many people that own DeLoreans got arrested for speeding trying to hit 88 after that movie came out.
Not a lot, because they didn't move that fast because they were so heavy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're very heavy.
I should know that I've watched at least 2 or 3 documentaries about it. I think I just read something that the guy's trying to bring him back. Did I just read that? I believe it.
Yeah, I don't think it's him because he's dead, but yeah.
Well, the family then maybe, or whoever owns the fucking name. I could probably look up on Wikipedia who owns it now.
Listen, even still though, wouldn't you? It's not a terrible name. You could bring something back like it and make a better, new and improved version.
Yeah.
If they can reboot a movie, you can reboot a car line. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but they only reboot good movies apparently.
No, they don't.
I mean,
they reboot a lot of shit.
All right, well, name one that got better on the remake, though.
That's what I'm saying. So therefore, they remake a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I
always thought
the first time around.
before they started remaking fucking fucking MCU and fucking DC comic shit over and over for the money.
Well, they haven't done that yet.
But the logic, yeah, but they've rebooted that shit 80, 100 times. It's the same
No,
movie.
they haven't. They really haven't, though.
It's always the same shit. I don't care. I couldn't care.
Well, it's not rebooted. It's a continuous story. It's not a reboot.
I'm just saying it's bullshit. I can't stand that shit. But the point being is
right. You don't like classic novel stories.
They keep remaking movies that are good. We talked about this last week, I think. Like Footloose was a fucking frame for frame copy with different actors.
Never seen either one.
You never seen the first Footloose? That's a good movie. I like that.
No, never seen either one.
What about Flashdance? Those two came out at the same time. Did you watch?
I was a bigger fan of the soundtrack than the movie. Never saw the movie. Actually, I've seen the movie in a lot of different parts, just not on its own.
Yeah, I guarantee the only part you've really seen is that chick on the stage with the water coming over her at the strip club.
Everybody's seen that. It's on the commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't even count that.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. You think it'd be rational to remake shit movies?
I think some of them would be good to remake. Like, there's a lot of times, like, you watch a low budget movie from like back in the day. It's like, hey, this was an idea, but they never really fleshed out. They're like, yeah, we just got to get this guy some work. So, we got on this thing. If you took one of those movies and said, if we put something into it, it might not be a terrible story.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead is a great movie.
Of
Part
course
2 much better.
But it fits your criteria, low budget, and then they remade it. But then, honestly, I like the special effects of the old one better. I think it's much cooler.
Right, you like the old school, not cheesy effect, and I'm
absolutely.
Just like Reanimator when they tried redoing that.
Oh, Reanimator is such a good fucking movie.
The original is amazing.
Yeah. There's an uncut release that came out after with even grosser shit that was took out of it to make it an R rating.
I remember that being like the thing back in the day. Like, like I used to hit the video store and just like, on the weekend. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes during the week, just hang out with my friends after school and just fucking turn something on. Let's see what we got. And you hit. Yeah,
I worked in the store. I worked and I ran one of the stores. And fucking on a Saturday morning, I wasn't working in the store. I would go to the store at 10 a.m. because we like when a big movie was out, you could schedule it. Could you do that over here?
What do you mean?
You could book tomorrow. I want to get Crocodile Dundee at 1 p.m. I'm going to reserve it. And could you do that?
Now you can, not back then.
Oh well, we did that. So all the people 1 p.m. was the cutoff. So I'd go in at 10 o'clock before the store opened. I'd take whatever the new movie was, and I'd go to my friend's house. We'd watch it, and then I'd go into work at 1 o'clock. So we saw all the new movies as soon as they came out.
Okay.
But I'd show up. I remember one of my favorite ones. I would pick movies that no one's ever heard of because a lot of American stuff went straight to video in England unless it was major. Because we had a smaller number. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. We'd never heard of it. I took it and we watched it, and it was fucking amazing. I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But that was one. I'm trying to think of some others. There's a few of that kind of, like they were popular in America. Hi, Tracy, love you. But they never made it to the theaters in England because, we have less theaters, more British movies slapped in there. So tons of shit went straight to video, Revenge of the Nerds 2. That was, and I love that. That was a good one. The other 7 of them, fucking awful. Or 20 of them, whatever there was.
But whatever it was, yeah. No, listen, I liked it, but let me rephrase it. I liked the first one. Mm-hmm. The second one was barely tolerable, and after that, I'm not gonna watch.
I like the second one, but it was a letdown in the fact that they didn't do a lot of the R-rated stuff. That when we were talking about this in 1981, 82, they would bang out movies with fucking boobs in them. Like Ruthless Fucking People is a fucking amazing movie. You don't get a movie like that anymore that has some chick getting railed hanging out of a fucking limo in the middle of it with her tits hanging around. You don't see that in even comedy movies really anymore. But like Revenge of the Nerds was R-rated.
Well, that's also because more people would rather, if it's not part of the plot, what sense does it make? You know what I mean?
Well, it never made any sense in 1981, really. But
that's what they're talking about. That's why
every guy was. But the guys in 1981 weren't watching it for the plot. They were looking for that bit of the movie.
That's what I'm saying. But my point is there should be a happy medium between the two.
Yeah. I mean, it comes back. Like
we can throw some gratuitous stuff out there. You know what I mean? Like, not everything has to be straight and narrow. Let's just fucking get to the point. Let's get to the plot. Mm-hmm. That's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, I went Revenge of the Nerds, Porky's, all those fucking movies. Last American Virgin, which was that Israeli film company that
Wait,
put out.
who was in that one?
I couldn't even tell you. Some Israeli actors. I don't think there was any Americans in it. I think the girl was an American.
No,
actor.
there's a couple of them that did.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think Last American Virgin was a remake, an American remake of the Israel one, and then the Israel one was called something slightly different, and they had 10 of them. The fuck was it? Hold on.
My whole thing is like back in the day we had like Russ Meyer.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's even early for me.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, he had all the good shit. Like, he made a point to make it part of the plot.
Right.
We're here. Yeah, we're going to show this. And guess what? It's part of the plot. You're going to like it. And if you don't like it, there's other shit for you to like. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But there's a way to try and do both, is all I'm saying.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned like that. I like that stuff. Russ Meyer was the man. I'm a fan.
Oh, the Lemon Popsicle series is what I'm thinking of.
The Lemon Party series?
Lemon Popsicle.
Lemon Party.
Yeah. Lemon Popsicle, there was like 15 of them. But they were
Never heard of any of them.
Yeah, because they were pretty big. I don't know if they were big over here. But I think Last American Virgin was a remake of one of those, or there was some connection. But Lemon Popsicle, let me see how many there are. There's a fucking ton of them.
From the 70s, so yeah, who knows?
They were good. For a movie that was almost foreign language. Yeah, there was 10 of them. There was 10 Lemon Popsicle movies. Hot Bubblegum, Private Popsicle, Private.
Were they were they good movies, or it was just a stupid let's just watch teenagers fuck movie?
Yeah, somewhere in that realm. You know the Israel people. They're like, what's going to make the money right now? And that was like we talked. That was the age of the Porky's movies. That was the age.
Right. That was 78. That was Animal House era.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, not so much Porky. It led up to Porky's, but
yeah. What was Porky's? 80?
Porky's like 81, I think. But Porky's, I look back, I don't think it's a good movie.
But you don't watch it. It's just like watching the original Evil Dead. You don't watch it because it's a good movie. You just watch it because it's.
No, I watch it because I love the Evil Dead movie. I love the original. I enjoy that movie still.
Everyone bangs on about Part 3 being so good. I don't know if I've even sat through Part 3 ever.
I've never watched Part 3. I've only watched the first two, and I stopped caring, and I didn't watch the reboot.
Part 2, they put so much comedy in it. I enjoyed it.
That's why I liked it.
You know, the fucking
the whole hand thing. It was fucking awesome.
They stepped the third one went down in England to like a PG-13, same as the second Revenge of the Nerds. As soon as you see PG-13, you're like, nah, this is not going to be the same thing.
Not necessarily. I'm not stupid like that. I could see that they might have a good plot and still be PG-13. It is possible.
Hey, in 1980, I'm trying to think when I started the video stuff. I probably was Porky's when I was 12. So, yeah, probably 83 or something.
Yeah.
But when you're 12, 14, 15, boobs is what you want to see.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, most moviegoers were not watching that back then either. It was the teenage market that they would get.
Yeah. Well, you've also got to remember the theater people were the people you're talking about, but the home video people, because home video wasn't massive at that point. It was just growing. And it was in England, the home video market, it was the stuff you couldn't get in the theater. The video recorders are very expensive then. They were like thousands when they first came out. And then it started to go down, and it wasn't a niche anymore. Remember, there was a niche group of video people in the early 80s, maybe 1 or 5 of your friends that have a VCR. Now, and then in 1988, it was much more. There was nearly everybody had one.
Like 86, everybody had them.
Yeah.
I remember being in high school having it. That was like 85, 86.
Yeah.
So
you had a VCR, but you didn't have HBO.
No, we had that.
Oh, I thought you didn't have HBO.
I had HBO since 77.
Oh, because we talked about The Sopranos, and you said you didn't have HBO then.
No, now I don't.
Oh,
Wait, let me rephrase that. When it came out, I didn't have it.
oh, okay. No,
Like,
the way you said it, I thought.
It's not like I wasn't able. I wasn't paying for it at that point. That's why I didn't watch The Sopranos. Like I saw like that first episode or two, and then I didn't watch it for like years, and then I got HBO again. Because that was literally the only thing I would have watched HBO for at that point. Because HBO kind of sucked for a while.
Well, Sopranos is what brought HBO
That's what brought it back.
But also made them making TV series. Before that, it was all shit.
Right, but I'm just saying, but that brought not just their TV shows back, but even their movies got better after that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that was good before Sopranos was probably Oz.
Yeah, I watched that too. Yes,
I watched that. 6 Feet Under, I think, was after. I should know this. 6 Feet Under was after.
That was Showtime, I think, too.
What was that one?
I thought that was on Showtime, not HBO.
6 Feet Under was HBO.
Was it? All right. I didn't have HBO at that point.
Yeah, you might be thinking of Dexter.
Dexter's definitely Showtime, yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck was the other one? Entourage was another one.
I liked Entourage.
But HBO gambled on The Sopranos because they'd never, other than Oz, they'd never made anything, the 1 hour TV thing.
Oh, no. What about The Wire?
Was that after?
No, The Wire was before that. That was the 90s.
Yeah, it was definitely HBO, Sopranos that really, really got him into it, though.
Right.
I think the
Wire
budget
is what really made everything blow for HBO. Because that was the start of it. And then they said, all right, let's try this one. And that just made it ridiculous how much more.
Yeah, I think Sopranos was a lot bigger of a budget. I think that was the thing.
Actually, The Wire was 2002. So, all right, it was after Sopranos.
I think Oz was the only one before they tried.
Yeah, you're right. All right. And Oz, my dad watched it. He's like, yeah, this is unrealistic, but I like it.
Yeah, well, did you tell him that the gay stuff was in the titles that make him feel more at home from jail?
I didn't hear a word you just said.
I said you should tell him that the gay part that's in jail was in the titles. Remember the title sequence was gay as fuck?
Oh, yeah, no. That's not what he was talking about. He was talking about, you also got to remember at that point, he was recently out. Mm-hmm. So his memory of what it was like for him is different from what the show was portraying, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm sure Essex County or whatever it was is a lot different.
Northern State, New Jersey.
Oh, like Fort Dix or whatever?
No, Northern State.
Northern State. I'm sorry. What town is that?
Newark.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where Oz pretends to be. Was it California? I don't know. Did they ever say? Did they ever say?
I don't think they ever said either. Which is good.
Yeah, because you're inside a fucking jail, so who cares?
Right, exactly. It could have been anywhere.
It says It says unspecified East Coast.
Yeah.
Oswald State Correctional Facility, which is fictional.
Which was still good.
They reference upstate New York a lot in it, so
probably modeled after Sing Sing.
Yeah.
Or one of the replacement ones that were up there after Attica got all fucking destroyed and they had to redo everything. Actually, that's probably what it was, Attica.
I wonder if Oz is worth another watch.
I'm not sure. I need a full rewatch of The Sopranos before I do that, though.
Yeah, Sopranos is great.
I have not, I started to during, back in 2020. And then I gave up on it because I had a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm like, I don't feel like waiting for that one. I'm like, I forget where they had that streaming at the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm watching this. This is on TV. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm going to save you 6 months. It goes black at the end and we don't know if he died.
What does?
The TV screen goes black at the end of Sopranos.
Does?
You don't know the end?
Don't fucking ruin it.
No, it doesn't explain it.
I'm kidding.
I don't care. I'd ruin it on purpose.
I know.
They never tell you if he died or not. So, I mean, David Chase accidentally.
He changed his mind like 6 times on that. So whatever.
Yeah. The whole country thought their cable went out at the same time.
I know. I remember that. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'm like banging the TV. I swear.
And then everybody was bitching. I'm like, oh, there's a fight. It was intentional. All right, stupid.
Yeah.
But no, listen, and I enjoyed that. It's fucking. My favorite thing is I saw somebody post recently. Not that if you would know the difference, but Meadow Soprano as a fucking name for some Jersey Italian girl back in the 90s. Definitely not happening. That would definitely not be her name back then.
Her and the son, was it Robert Isler? His name?
Yeah.
They do a podcast.
Yeah, they do. I actually like their podcast. I watch. I listen.
Yeah, I got real stalkery one time, and
never.
I know. I found out she bought her house from the Undertaker.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so weird the connections, but whatever. I just thought it was funny. Anyway, I won't
Where at?
I think it was Arizona.
Okay, that's not so bad.
Yeah. A big development of very, very, very big houses.
That he used to make a lot of money. It makes sense.
Yeah. And you know
so much, so he had to downsize.
And you know her friend in the show? What the fuck was her friend's name?
No
one that had a bit of a nose.
No.
Whatever. So, anyway, her friend from school is David Chase, his real daughter.
Okay.
Yeah. So. You watch Euphoria?
Yes. Actually, I've watched like the first couple episodes of season 1, and that was it.
Why did you bail? Because someone just told me yesterday I should watch it. Because apparently they're nearly as naked as Game of Thrones in it.
No, definitely, yeah.
But my criteria for a good show starts at that point. You know what I mean?
That doesn't really do it for me.
So it's not that good?
No, I'm saying that's not what causes me to want to watch a show. I can see titties anytime I want.
So why'd you bail?
Smartphones.
So why'd you bail them?
I don't care. Like, there's so much content out there. Like, I watched a couple episodes and I started watching something else. I'm like, I'm good with this. And I never went back. Like, you have to, I don't care what show, like, even The Sopranos, like, I didn't care about renewing HBO, and I liked that show. That was the one reason for me to want to get it. I'm like, then whatever.
Did you watch DTF St. Louis?
Well, no, this is the other thing. And it's almost all TV shows now, but mostly cable shows. You get your 8 to 13 episodes for the season. Then you wait 2 fucking years. Don't care.
Sopranos was the one that did the worst of that.
No, that was the one that started it all. It all started sucking after that.
I think the gap between the 2 parts of Series 6 was like 20 months or something. Some ludicrous number like that.
No idea.
Yeah. Did you watch DTF St. Louis yet on HBO?
Nope.
You should watch that. It's fucking good.
You know what? I don't have time most times. That's the other thing too.
Well, the good news is it's only I think 7 episodes, and it's not going to continue. It's just a story they told, and that's it.
Like this is my thing, and more so now, but especially back in the day, like I had shit to do. 99, I was still in college. You know what I mean? So if it was on, great. If it's not on, whatever. I didn't.
2006, you were still in college. So.
No, I got out in 99.
Yeah, but
But but think about it. Like, so as a young single guy, like I never give a fuck what was on TV, and then as a parent, I didn't give a fuck what was on TV because I was taking care of my kid and doing shit.
But Sopranos was appointment TV. You had all your remember my buddy Matt, right? You know, Big Matt.
Yeah.
He didn't have HBO, and technically I didn't have HBO, but somehow I had HBO. And
there's a lot of people in New Jersey. I understand.
Yeah. So at 9 o'clock, he would be at my house on a Sunday night to watch Sopranos.
Right. I get that.
And before that, Oz, I think. Entourage. I can't remember when Entourage started. I think Entourage
99, 2000, right? I was just getting out of college. I just started a job working where I work now. Right. So, like I said, I've been there forever. Going to work, paying my bills, taking care of shit, that's all I ever, you know what I mean? Like, if it's something's on TV and while I'm sitting there, I will watch it. If I have to wait till Sunday night to watch it, I don't give a fuck about that show.
Now, when you came back from college, you
were
back.
included The Sopranos, and I love The Sopranos. I don't give a fuck. If it's not on when I'm ready to watch TV, don't care.
Well, now you can do that.
Yeah, now we have the ability with streaming and shit and on demand. Sure. Outside of that, nobody gives a fuck.
I can't think of any show. What's the most recent show you can think of where people like, I gotta find out what happens. I gotta watch it when it comes on.
The Sopranos.
That's what. Yeah, and that came back during the pandemic when everybody. Nice to see he can work his camera. He's only in TV. Turn your fucking camera on, John. The Sopranos came back massively during the pandemic when everyone was stuck in their house.
Right. So in his defense, I told him 7:30 to be ready. He has a minute.
He's got a minute to get ready.
Right. So, but no, you're right, and that's why it had a resurgence during that time. That's why everything else had a resurgence during that time, including new shows like Tiger King.
Tiger King was good.
It was all right. I would never watch it again.
What was the other one? Making a Murderer? Was it Making a Murderer? It's called.
No idea.
The
I know
documentary.
what you're talking about. I didn't. Yeah. Was it, that the only thing that I was interested about that is that they had a new trial for the guy.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's got to be pretty impactful. They did that.
Yeah.
Still wasn't enough to suck me in and want to watch it.
Yeah, but it didn't help that the guy that framed him again. But they made a second series of it that I watched about 8 minutes of, and I'm like, well, they pulled the best stuff in the first one. Who cares what's going on now?
No, but I heard they were working on getting somebody else. It was intriguing on the surface level.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, though, like you're somebody that'll sit up like 10 hours at night watching shit.
Yeah, well, some prick yesterday said to me, "Did I watch the Michael movie?"
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. So at 10:30 last night, I started watching the Michael movie, which incidentally was very good. But
because you were enjoying all the porn scenes.
None of that was in it. They took it all out.
I know you have a good copy.
They filmed 3 acts of this movie, and then the whole third act they had to get rid of because of legal shit.
Right.
Here he is.
What's up, handsome?
Hello there.
What's up?
How the hell are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Good.
Not too bad.
Hey, I thought Dave was Judy Garland because I'm watching a Judy Garland movie.
That's fair. I
Uh,
would do that.
so,
Johnny, Dave, you're right. John is old.
Yes, he is. I would take you down to Yellow Brick Road if you wanted.
that's
You could be like Jolly Munchkin.
so how's everything going, guys? What do you want to talk about?
Radio edit.
Yeah, we're talking. Well, first of all, we were just talking about terrible shows and movies that we really love.
We're
And
trying to
forward
think.
about the new Michael movie.
What was the last? Yeah, we're just talking about. Michael was actually good. There was 3 funny parts in it that made me laugh very hard. There was a scene where his mother said to him when he was like 9 or 10, I guess. His mom says to him, "You should find some friends your own age." And of course, I'm like, well, he's going to be talking to some 8 and 9-year-olds 20 years from now.
And he did what she asked.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, my wife had the dumb statement of the movie. He just got Bubbles, the monkey, which looked very, I think they CGI'd it, but it was very good. It looked very good. But I said, he fucked that monkey. And my wife says he didn't fuck the monkey because he didn't have AIDS.
Oh shit!
So my wife thinks monkeys, because she read that thing on the internet about HIV was brought in by monkeys.
Yeah.
There might be a little truth to, but she thinks that now every monkey has AIDS, and if you fuck a monkey, you have AIDS.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, so that's her logic. She's the same one. This is the same woman who told me for the last 20 years her favorite arcade game was Pac-Man, and recently I got a Pac-Man machine, a big one, and she's playing it and she's sucking at it. And then I said, "What are you doing wrong?" She goes, "I don't know what's going on. I moved the joystick, but the red one doesn't move." I'm like, "You're not the fucking red one."
Yeah, you're you're the yellow guy.
Yeah, exactly.
We are
Look at that. She was
talking
looking for the yellow ghost.
You're a Chinese guy.
Yeah. The guy that looks like a pizza.
And I have one of those sit-down Miss Pac-Man machines, and I
just bought the big
the
stand.
real big stand-up model.
You have to remember, Pac-Man is basically a drug addict. He's chomping down pills all day long.
LSD
Eventually
pills.
Thinks he has superpowers. He's chasing ghosts. Come on, it's
And then
right
once he gets his fix, he's real fast.
there.
He
he's
goes faster.
He gets going. He got a speedball. He's on the way.
That's right. He is on fucking a speedball. All right.
So now I bought that. I'm looking in. Have you ever heard of these things called multicades?
No.
Yeah,
So it's an arcade machine, same size as
but
like
it has
a
like
Pac-Man.
1,000 games in it.
Yeah, it has.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen a couple
I just
have
found
Galaxy, asteroids together. Yeah.
Well, no, that's what mine has. It has like 12 games.
Oh, cool.
Multicades, the bootleg ones. I just found one online that has 65,000 games.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it has every arcade game, Atari, NES, Super NES, Dreamcast, and all this other shit. And the worst part is they got sued by Nintendo, I guess. So they changed the names of some of the games in the menu where you pick the game, but then when you play the game, so like Street Fighter is called King of Fighters on the menu, but when you click it, it's fucking Street Fighter.
It's the same thing, right? It's funny.
The worst part is if you don't know the names, there's like categories. There's like fighting game, racing game, but there's only like 8 categories. But do you know how many games out of 65,000 are in each category? It's just impossible.
Yeah, I don't think you can play every game.
Well, there's no way. It's impossible. That's why, there's like 8 copies of every game mixed in with different names. It's nowhere. It's not 65,000 unique games. But there's a search button where you can click it and type in a word. That's how you find shit on it. It's fucking.
Oh, okay. So it's a search. Yeah.
Who's gonna scroll through that menu? I mean,
No.
You know what happened with me? I'd have that device for about a day at most before I gave up. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't.
Well, no. What you do? You use the search function, and on the first page, there's 8 empty boxes where you can pick your 8 favorite games and have a favorites list. You're gonna have 65,000 games, and this is what my one's gonna be: Pac-Man, Frogger, Crazy Taxi from Dreamcast. What else?
Super Mario, Donkey Kong.
Yeah, if you bought the arcade machine with 10 games in,
Yeah.
you're gonna have the same 10 games on that fucking. Like you got 65,000 to pick from, but I'm playing Frogger all day. You know.
I love Frogger.
Me too.
I used to have the little handheld one forever.
Hmm.
The fake tabletop little handheld one.
Yeah.
I would play that shit all the time.
So you know the Atari controller, the square.
Yeah, with a stick in it. Yeah.
Yes. So they have. I just got, and I think it's in the other room. The controller has all the games built in it. All that comes out of the controller is a wire for your TV.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
Then you turn it on and you pick through the little graphics. There's maybe 50 games, maybe less. But it's got Frogger on it. It doesn't have Pac-Man because Pac-Man's not an Atari game. But this and the bootleg one that I found. I wanted to get one of the big arcades. I found a guy in like Mattawan. The hardest part is building the cabinet, right?
Right.
Putting 2 little joysticks in is not the complicated part.
Yeah.
So I found people online selling these multicades for like $4,000. They look super cool. The cabinets, they got like Sonic on them or Mario, right. And they look really cool, but they don't look $3,000-$4,000 cool.
How much did yours cost?
Well, the one I found a guy in Mattawan that's doing them for like $800.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, but since finding that, and I haven't put my order in yet, they made these. You know the panel of an arcade game with the 2 joysticks for the 2 players.
Yeah.
And the 5 buttons.
Yeah.
They have ones now that are like this wide, so they're the same size as the panel, but the games are all built into it. You stick it on like a coffee table.
Huh.
And then the wire comes out of it and goes to the TV. But it's
cool.
chunky. It's big. It's fucking big, this thing. So it's the same size as where you play an arcade game on a real arcade machine.
Just on a table, you can put it. That's great.
But you hook it to your TVs. But here's the weirdest part, which I was literally going to buy one today. And I found this out, and I'm trying to figure out if this is going to annoy me or not. For some reason, on these particular things, only the sound comes out of the thing with the joysticks on it. It doesn't come out of the TV. So it's like if you're in a real arcade game with the how the speakers are on the left and right.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're going for by making the sound come out of the device instead of the TV.
Okay.
So I'm trying to decide if that annoys me or if I'm going to just go for it. But these, they have a big one that has 2. And then they have another one. They have 2 single ones. And then the third option is 2 single ones with Bluetooth. So all you got to do is put 2 AA batteries. They're like that big. It's the same size as like half an arcade machine.
Mm-hmm.
They're big chunky things, but they're Bluetooth. And they have all these fucking games in them.
How cool.
Yeah. And $119.
That's really good. Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
And I have all those. I have all the emulators and all the games on my laptop. It's just I want it on a big screen.
Yeah, it's nice to plug it into the
Like, you
TV.
want
Now
an
everything
arcade
goes
screen?
into.
But of
Well, do
course,
you want it on the arcade screen or just like a TV screen?
well, if I buy the cabinet, there's an LCD screen in the cabinet. You can buy cabinets for those things, so you can have that, and if you like it, you can build a cabinet. Cabinet's like $300-400 at least, because it's all woodworked and
Right.
for the joysticks and shit. I would love to have the cabinet.
But
I'm
would you
digging my
rather the
Pac-Man
cabinet?
machine.
I'm saying, would you rather the cabinet? Or would you rather have it on like a big screen, an 88-inch, and play your game there?
They have cabinets that go up to 42, maybe.
Oh, that's pretty nice size.
That's pretty big for Pac-Man, right? What the fuck do you need?
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
imagine
I
it.
can live with that.
But I
Imagine-
if I use this other one, this $119, I can put it on my 65-inch in the TV room.
Yeah, I had to play the Wii. I love the Wii golf, especially.
Well, you
And
gotta remember
having
the resolution
having
of
the Wii
is
golf
way
on
better than
TV is freaking awesome. It's big.
Yeah.
It's really 80 inches.
I
I think.
had an actual simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I'm not a big Street Fighter guy, but I bet you that's awesome on a 65-inch TV.
Yeah,
The only thing is the resolution of those games is not very high. It's very low. So some of them are going to look very clunky. It's not going to look that great on a big screen.
That would suck.
But if you buy I'm saying if you buy it and you put it on the 65, it don't work. You say fuck it. You take it upstairs. You put it in the 40 in the bedroom. You know. But yeah, for some reason I've just got. I said to my wife, I got to find a Pac-Man. Do you ever play Pac-Land?
no, what's that one?
The Pac-Land is like a platform game with a Pac-Man that jumps.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot. The reason I liked it is because I could never get past level 2 when I was a kid at the arcade. It just pissed me off. So,
All right.
and then the Pac-Man that came out, the company that makes these big cabinets is called Arcade One Up. I don't know if you've heard that name.
Mhm.
They sell them at Walmart. Some of these, and you put the cabinet together. But it comes with like 12 games. It has Galaga on it, Galaxians on it, Dig
Yeah.
Duggies on it.
Asteroid, maybe
Asteroid is
Defender.
a different company. It's not the same company.
Oh, it's a different company. All
So
right.
they have to. Yeah, that's Midway. So they have
Okay.
to separate. But
Same shit.
But the bootleg one, the 65,000 games,
That's got everything.
is shipped out of Taiwan, so they don't give a fuck about any of the copyright shit.
So you could play Centipede and Millipede.
Everything. This game's on there because it has everything. It has all the Japanese titles. Because I don't know if you guys ever had Sega Genesis. The first games that came out on Sega Genesis were the Japanese versions.
Yeah.
And we used to bootleg them, of course. No, I don't know why that would be anything I'd do. But we used to bootleg them from the Japanese version before the American one came out. You couldn't read any of the writing because it was all like fucking, chicken scratch looking shit. But the actual game function was the same. So I guarantee out of 65,000 games, 10,000 of them are like adventure games where you need to read what it says.
Oh, and you can't. Yeah.
You need to be part of the story, like in Joust.
Yeah.
Well, what was
Hey,
the other
Tony,
one?
let me-
Wizards and Warlocks I used to love.
Yeah. Did you play Robotron?
No, what was Robotron?
It was a little robot. It was a little
Right.
robot. A lot of bad robots walking around the screen.
Right.
Like 4 little family members. You had
Yes.
to walk and pick up the family members, but you had a second joystick that whichever way you moved the right joystick would be which way he would shoot.
Oh, okay. So you're shooting the ones coming at you, but trying to rescue.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, so trying to figure out which at the time was complicated, but now if you look at some of these games, like my nephew is a massive fucking Halo guy. He's in the top 12 in the world. He goes all over the world in the contest. There's like fucking 85 combinations of buttons in that game.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Ace. Do you remember the cheat codes on the Super NES where you fucking, if you press up, left, and right at the same time, you get an extra life. Remember that shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Or
yeah,
on remember Super Mario and Donkey Kong, you could go
Yeah.
through secret places up top and end
Yeah.
up in like the end of the game.
Did you see the documentary King of Kong?
No.
King of Kong is about these 2-3 guys that are the world champion Donkey Kong guys.
Right.
And they would play it until the end where the game would run out of memory, so the screen would corrupt. and the one guy, he played it for 2.5 days. They didn't close the arcade. They let him play it. He broke 1 million on the score, which no one ever did. Yeah, you got to watch it. The fucking it's like a reality show for super nerds.
I'm gonna watch it when we get done.
It's called King of Kong.
King of Kong, right?
If you love that arcadey shit, but
No, I do.
They're always the two guys that are really the top guys. It has other games in too, and there's this authority of some kind that decides if you cheated.
Yeah.
These people are sending VHS tapes to this guy of them doing the world championship, because this is back in the day when it was, and this guy's watching VHS tapes to see if you cheated. And then one guy beats him. He bought a board and he put it in the machine in his house. And then the guy from this authority came to the house and had to look at the circuit board to see if he fucked with it. Because I mean, it's ludicrous. It's a funny fucking. I love it.
Cool. I'm gonna watch it later.
But after you watch it,
quick.
Yeah,
I got some people chiming in on this on the chat. Tabitha down in Florida, Gallagher. Remember Gallagher?
That's on my machine.
Oh yeah,
That's on my
Gallagher.
machine. It's like Space Invaders, but like 3D monster.
Right.
And then they come down in formations with Space
Right.
Invaders.
And then you hear deer. That's when they're coming down quick in circles.
Yeah. If you watch
and going back to the HBO shows, Boardwalk Empire and Rome from Sully.
I don't think I've ever watched either of those.
I watched Boardwalk Empire because I'm selfish. But that's all.
Oh, is this the bad movies that you guys like?
No,
we were talking. I was a big fan of like the shitty effect early 80s horror movies, and we were talking about movies like Revenge of the Nerds and Porky's.
Yeah,
like sex comedies. And I'm a big fan of that, but we were talking about how, a lot of the sex has been taken out now because I guess Hollywood wants to be more mainstream. But
I'm sure one of you guys has seen it, The Toxic Avenger.
Love The Toxic Avenger.
The remake. The remake is like, ugh.
It's horrible, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the original one is that's like one of those movies that's so corny that you love it, like Airplane.
Airplane's one of the best written movies comedically.
Oh my God. But it's so stupid. It's so funny though.
They hit every single note.
It's so funny.
Hey, any horror movie that has a budget of less than 10 grand, I am fucking in.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. like the Avengers.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I have three of Dave's movies he was in. He was in a few sex comedy type things. And me and his wife Tracy are gonna have a watch party where the movies.
She won't watch it.
That's what I'm saying.
I tried just showing her the trailer. She's like, "Yeah, turn this off."
And what about Clockwork Orange?
Amazing.
That was freaking so cool.
In England, we had this thing.
No time for the old and out, love. I'm only here to read the meter.
But in England, we had this thing
the old in and out.
When these movies came out, all the old people in England decided they were real, and people started going to jail for half snuff movies, for Cannibal Ferox, Cannibal Holocaust, Evil Dead, I Spit on Your Grave, all those movies.
Faces of Death.
So
Faces of Death. That was another good one.
Do you know they just put a movie out about that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, it came out on the 10th. It's a movie about these guys finding the Faces of Death movie tape.
Oh wow! Okay. I'm gonna have to look at that one.
It's so bad they haven't pirated this movie.
Really?
That's how you know a movie is bad. If nobody bootlegged it, it's fucking horrible.
And the first one was kind of sketched. It wasn't all of those weren't real.
I would say a third of the first movie. I would say a third of the first movie was real.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was so much of it that was staged. But you can go on a website now.
Stuff was fun though.
You can go on a website now and watch way worse shit than that on the internet. So,
right, but you got to remember, we're not talking now. We're talking about 40 years ago.
What was the other one? There was another one. Was it Mondo Asia or something Asia? Fuck.
No, I haven't heard of that one.
People, it was like the same kind of thing. Like people getting beheaded.
Shut up, dog.
Well, does Cambodia?
Came up here to get quiet.
Oh, good. No. John's Wi-Fi only worked 1 meter from his house.
I'm still here. You're still there?
Yeah, your pictures. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I must have walked out of Wi-Fi range.
Yeah, you obviously, that all that money you're making being in the background of some 80s fucking.
Yeah, and I got Wi-Fi that's got 10 feet range.
Yeah, his Wi-Fi is better because he put the fan on now. It's pushing.
Yeah, you see it behind me. It's and that's my only fan.
The Wi-Fi signal is getting pushed out into the room.
You got a fan behind you too.
Yeah, well, I'm always my own biggest fan.
That's the only thing is my fan. The only fan is always over my head, and it ain't God. Oh, shit.
So, Johnny, what's the latest stuff you've worked on? Can you name any stuff that you've done? Anything recently that you've done some work on?
What's the Daredevil movie.
Nice.
It's the Daredevil. I think it's Born Again, the miniseries.
Yeah, the new series. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I was sitting at the, in background, and I had a background late shoot, which I love. You could sleep. And all of a sudden everybody's going in and out, and there's only 6 people left. And I'm like, oh, they're not going to use me. This is great. No, they were waiting to the end to put me right next to the principal. So I'm sitting there, and I see all these people who've been out there for hours sweating and shit. And all of a sudden they walk me in, and they go sit by that guy. And I'm like, hey, how are you? And I'm looking, and I'm like, holy shit, all the cameras are pointing at him. And I'm sitting right next to him, which is really cool. Because they get good FaceTime on the camera. So, and then before that, you guys watch Beer League? Yeah, we did Beer League with Jimmy Palumbo, the second one. And it's called Beer League Last Licks. And I'm not really sure the website to go look at it, but you can find it. And I was in the first Beer League movie too with Artie. Yeah, I was an outfielder, and I was never in the movie. You couldn't see me. That was real
Jimmy
background.
Palumbo of I did 20 seconds at Rodney's fame.
Yeah, I think I could get that up there. That's that whole shit show, man. I swear to God, I'm never gonna forget it. First thing, but me and you were right in the middle of all that, Paul.
I know.
Yeah.
It was, and I was hosting the freaking show, so it was a tough one, but. All the shit that came out of from that is from the Dabbleverse is just, oh God, you guys know about it.
I think that Rodney show.
I can't believe that Paul, being the attention whore that he is, did not try and get on stage when it was offered stage time to him.
Well, we asked him. Yeah, remember, Paul? I said, "Do you want to go up there?" And Shari said, and he's like, "No, I don't think so."
Yeah, but what you're neglecting to mention is this was after John.
Oh yeah, after. It was after everything.
Meanwhile, there was 180 people trying to skip out on their checks.
Yeah, exactly.
You could have helped them.
No, literally, yeah, they would have. I don't know. I mean, with hindsight, if I'd have just gone out there and tried one joke, it would have been funny, I guess.
No, it was a shit show, and
you know what though,
what?
John, forgetting all that, the financial and all that other shit of it. You know what? You were there for that show. That show's in history right now.
Yeah, page 6.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was at 3 p.m. I wasn't going to that show.
Oh, I'm so happy you went. And then you ended up going and singing karaoke with Anthony, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, the Dabbleverse doesn't bother me at all. I see it. But when they get violent, like Kevin Brennan got in a fight that night with Gino.
Kevin Brennan is a big instigator.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm surprised nobody has really tried to beat the crap out of him, but I'm not going to fall for his crap. It doesn't matter. And they're doing a show at Rodney's, if you can believe that. Did you see it?
Oh, who's in the show? Oh, Brennan's doing a show at
Kevin Brennan, Bob Levy, the guy Zumak or whatever his name is.
Zumak's going to be there.
Ray DeVito. And other people, what's his name? Barry Ribs. The homeless comedian's going to be there.
Well, you know what you're going to do is when that show is on, we're going to count the number of tickets sold for that versus the number of tickets sold for your show.
Well, they're adding people, and I think it's because they're not getting the ticket sales they thought they were.
I didn't know Barry Ribs did bringers, but I guess he does now.
Well,
Barry, how many people can you bring? Well, my mother's a cunt. All right, good. So,
but you're right. I mean, I don't hope that their thing fails, but I mean, I'll tell you, they did a lot to really ruin my shows. They were calling up venues, reserving tickets. They were telling the venue that there's going to be a bomb threat, whatever they could do. And it didn't work. But when I went to the comic strip and I was going to come back there with John, Kevin Brennan got to the owner there, or the Tommy, he's the booker, and he canceled the show last minute. And
I saw all of that. Yeah,
I had 50 freaking tickets.
I'm sure that even though John was no longer on that show, I feel like it just carried over from him being on the show.
Absolutely.
I don't think it was anything against who you put on next.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think Kevin Brennan, he tried to get the date. He said to Tommy, I'll do that date. And because he thought, it was going to get canceled immediately, and it didn't. But he kept going back there. And eventually the guy, Tommy, said, I think I even posted it.
Yeah, you did.
That it's not our brand, the brand we're going for. And I'm like, listen, I told you I was going to sell at least 50 tickets. I did. And John wasn't even on the show anymore. Mike Kaplan was on it. So
yeah, I just think it carried over. I don't think.
And exactly, I don't think it was any way out of it. But I wasn't going to quit. I wasn't going to be the one to say I'm canceled.
Right.
So
I think Kevin was also hoping that your 50 people would have showed up to his show.
And that never happened. Actually, the next day, what happened was the guy Tommy put on two of my people who were going to be on my show, Sheba Mason and Michelle Ballin. These are two of my friends.
Sheba Mason. Sheba Mason was able to get Johnny Hollywood to lose his feature spot and take his feature spot.
Oh, I heard. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, that's funny.
John got so mad at me because I said, John, the John Hollywood curse. I think I did it on your post.
Yes.
I fucking said the John Hollywood curse. Because the first one, your show just gets completely canceled, which 3 shows got canceled in the last 2 weeks for him. And then the second one is somebody shows up and strong arms their way onto a show and takes your feature spot.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Wait, John, wait. Paul's done that to Hollywood himself. So don't let him.
He got so mad at me.
To a show out in Vegas. And he took a feature spot from Hollywood.
Do you know? John? Do you know this story about our trip to Vegas?
No. Why don't you tell me?
All right, I'm going to give you that. It's going to take 3 minutes. I'll be ready. Here we go. So this guy, his last name is a Israeli comedian, but a Jewish comedian. Sorry, he runs the show at a place right on what's that downtown Vegas, the old Vegas? What's that fucking street?
The Strip, Sunset Strip, or
no, Fremont Street.
Fremont. Okay.
So
is that the back?
There's a big theater there begins with N. It's gone out of my head. Anyway, it's the same place when they were in Vegas for Skankfest. They did it at the same theater. Anyway, so John's been hassling this guy to fucking get on the show. So this guy calls up Hollywood and says, "Hey, I need a host. I need a host." And John was going there because his parents are there.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, his dad's really sick right now. I hope he's.
Yeah, I heard. Say a prayer.
So Hollywood's like, he's going, and I'm like, I got so many days off of work, it's unreal. I can go to Vegas on Spirit for like $80.
Yeah.
So I said, call the guy up, say you've got a guy to host, and see if he'll bump you to feature. He calls the guy. The guy's like, no, but you can give your boy a guest spot at 2 shows there. Notoriety Theater is the name of the place. 2 shows there, and the night before is a show at a Filipino restaurant, which was interesting because I was the only white guy except for John, and there was a dude from Australia in the crowd. Everybody else was Filipino. So I did crowd work about Australia for 9.5 minutes. So that was me. So we do that. We go. We're supposed to visit my friend who's in the hospital at a homeless shelter there. That was one of my best man for my wedding was there. And so we did a ton of open mics. We went to like every open mic in Vegas. And by the way, open mics in Vegas start at 1 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ludicrous. I talked to a lot of people. I met some good comedians, and I said to them, "What's the show you need to get on here?" And they said there's a show called The Dirty at 12:30. What it is, it was run by Ralphie May, R.I.P., and his buddy. They started this, and it's in a hotel on the Strip, but it's like 4 miles south. Everybody that performs at Jimmy Kimmel shows, Laugh Factory, all the shows, all the headliners, as soon as they finish, they go to this show. So like the week before me, Joe Rogan, Carlos Mencia. Everybody's there. Whoever's headlining in the Strip, go there.
Right.
So everyone's like, "Go! You got to get on this show. You're never going to get on the show. You're at an open mic. You're never going to get on the show." So
I'm lighting them.
Yeah, stop.
No, you said 3 minutes.
I know. I'm sorry.
You have 30 seconds left. Let's go.
I'm not going to be able to do it now.
All right. We'll give you an extra 2 minutes.
We do the first show at this Notoriety place. The guy's like, "Good, you did a good job. Thanks. I'm not getting paid. I'm a guest spot, right?" We go down to this study at 12:30. John's talking to some fat comic from Florida. I say to this other kid, introduce me to the guy that runs this, right? He introduces me. I start talking about Ralphie May. I did stuff with him on the Opie and Anthony show years ago. So the guy's like, we're talking. And I'm like, hey, if you can get me on the show, this will be awesome. If not.
Wait, hold on. Go ahead.
I don't even know what they missed. I know. Go to the green room and we'll see who can get on the show. So at 12:15, he comes down. He goes, Paul, you can do 8 minutes on the show. I'm like, wow, I'm good. John's like, can I get on the show? And I said to the guy, says, my buddy's here from New Jersey too. Can he get on the show? The guy says, only one of you two can go on. And I said to John, sorry, buddy, not going to happen. So he gets super pissed. I do the show. I get off the stage. He, of course, has to criticize what I did. Then he tells me I got to walk back to my hotel, and all this other crazy shit. He finally drives me back, and he's doing 100 miles an hour in a Tesla. And the next morning, we're supposed to visit my friend. It closes at 12, the visiting hour. I call him from 8 a.m. He finally answers 11:15. He picks me up. I'm like, what happened, dude? I know John's notoriously late every fucking time.
Yeah.
So he goes, dude, you fucked me over so bad last night. I couldn't sleep.
Wait. In John's defense, he does like work very hard watching Asian porn all night. So it's hard for him to get up
That's true.
Before,
Yeah,
so
so
don't expect him to be awake.
Oh, and
he
then
is busy.
I'm banned from his parents' house. I am banned from John Pollywood's parents' house because I didn't bring his mother flowers when we went to visit.
Or a gift.
Yeah, but John picked me up at the hotel, didn't say to me, hey, we should stop at the gas station. Anyway. So while we're in the car going to this fucking guy, I get a phone call. It's from the guy that runs the Notoriety Theater show. Hey, Paul, our feature's dropped out. Do you want a feature tonight? So keep in mind, John is the host.
Right.
But now I'm featuring.
Oh, my gosh.
So I see to John. I goes, John, did you hear from, I think, Isaac Israel, I think his name is. Or that's his stage name. He goes, no, I didn't hear from him. And I goes, he just called me and said, do I want to feature? Yeah. He said to me, do you want to feature? He goes, motherfucker. What the fuck? If you get paid more than me, I'm going to fucking kill myself. I'm like, all right, whatever.
So you know he's a liar too.
He drops me off at that fucking street, Fremont Street. At 11 a.m., he drops me off there for a 7 p.m. show. Because he has to go back to his parents and catch up on his beauty sleep. Because he wanted to fucking slice his wrist. So we do the show. Now I'm leaving from there to go right to the airport. The guy walks up to Hollywood, hands him $100 bill. And then, actually, the girl, his assistant, whatever you want to call her. Then she goes, oh, sorry, you're the host. Takes the 100 back and gives it to me.
He got nothing?
I think he got 50.
Okay, but that must have been, oh my God, you screwed him 3 times. That was the first
strike.
That's the three, strike. Yeah, 3 times.
Yeah, 3 strikes. And then he had a flight in United because he's fancy, and I was on Spirit. And he sends me pictures of the United flight that he paid 4 times as much as I did. Dude, they hadn't cleaned that thing since 1820.
Oh, nice.
I'm sitting in a brand new Spirit flight. Have you ever been on Spirit? Do you know you can, there's an eBay auction for upgrades. No, I didn't know that. I barely go on Spirit. You can bid for the upgrades.
Right.
So I got the exit row for fucking $12 bid.
Oh, wow.
The guy next to me paid $220 he bid for the other chair.
Holy shit.
I'm like,
that's
dude,
a good deal.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
So Johnny got screwed 4 times.
Yeah, he got screwed 4 times. And ever since then, he stopped calling me so much. He used to call me all the time. And honestly, since then, and I don't know what's going on with him since he had his surgery.
No, he still talks highly of you. Trust me.
Have you noticed though that he's
no, I think it's because he's sick, and I think he's got all the shit going on.
That's what I think.
With the father and stuff.
But here's what really fucked John up, and I've said this to him, so this isn't a fucking something.
No, it's not even a secret. It's an open secret. We all been like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
So Chip told him he needs to do clean material to get booked in more places. So now John is writing clean comedy, and
which is worse than as usual.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, me and Dave did. It was either 2 or 3 shows with him. Oh, my birthday show. He headlined my birthday show down the shore.
By the way, wait. Start from the beginning with that because I told him like it's your birthday show. You need to headline this.
Yeah.
We tried having Hollywood host it, but that's not going to happen because
he was 2 hours late. He was 2 hours late.
But hell, even just as a feature would have been a nice thing.
If he didn't show up, the show would have been perfect because I was last at that point. and everybody crushed. Everybody. Well, not, I'm not just screwing my head. Everybody crushed. Then he showed up to headline.
5 of us that were there already did well.
Yeah. John, have you ever had somebody boo in your face from 2 feet away?
No.
Some woman went,
that happen to him.
Boo! Oh and I fucking lost the video. I'm so pissed I deleted it by mistake.
It was an old lady sitting in front.
Some old lady went boo!
Holy shit.
So dude, we talked to him afterwards. We talked to him for a while, and Dave left. He was like fucking bombed. He was bombed. And then he was supposed to do on the Friday, he was supposed to do a show.
VFW up in Nutley.
Was it the Nutley VFW? So he had a show in Nutley.
Him and Jerry the plumber.
Yeah, they went in there 3 weeks before. They gave the place flyers to put up and stuff to advertise it. He went back 3 days before the show. The flyers were still sitting on the pool table where he left.
Oh my God. And listen, I guarantee he lives about 5 minutes away tops, and he probably was late.
Yes.
He is late
the only
a lot.
reason he was there on a Wednesday is because we told him the show was Monday. But
that's funny.
John,
but Johnny, it got to the point at one point he literally was contemplating suicide because it was
Jerry the plumber came up to me. We were doing a show on was it Friday night? We did that Bloomfield show.
Yeah, in Bloomfield.
Yeah, we had a spot in Bloomfield for a while until some comic's friend called the cops on a waitress for stealing money and fucked that whole thing up.
Oh shit!
That's another story.
Yeah.
But Jerry says to us, "Goes, you got to let John. John's gonna kill himself. He's literally just calling me fucking gonna kill himself." And he was serious. It wasn't bullshit.
Yeah.
It was fucking.
And he literally only went out of the house because Jerry's like, let's just go out of the house. Let's go see them. Let's just go support them and have a good time.
Well, thank God Jerry took him. I mean, I didn't know Johnny was that serious about that kind of thing. I know he doesn't feel good. He complains.
It was not. I don't know if that was part of it, but I think
it was probably part of it as well. But it's still not.
Yeah, I think comedy was the thing that was bringing him up a little bit from down. You know what I mean?
And then it made it worse when everything just went to shit for him comedically.
Yeah, I just did a show for Carucci at a VFW down in Roseland, New Jersey. And
was that the one on Friday?
Was it Friday or Saturday? I think it was Saturday.
No, I think Friday was the Beach Lake that I've done with him. That's like a 2.5, 3 hour drive.
Oh yeah. That he was doing that show. But his other show, he did this show. He wasn't on it, but it was his show. And when we got there, actually while we were driving there, he sends me a text saying, "Oh, you can't be dirty and you can't curse." And I said, "Yeah, no, well, that's nice to know." And these people, I softened them up a little bit and was able to throw. But Paul, you would have tore him apart.
Well, the reason I didn't go on that show is he had that spot, the one you were going to come to on Friday.
Yeah.
Obviously, he couldn't work it, so he gave it to me to take care of for that month. I don't know.
How did it go?
It was good.
It was full up. It's not a big spot. It's only like 20, 25, but
yeah. But still, I don't mind a small. Like when we go to Tommy's. When we go to Tommy's and fill that up, it's only like 50 people. It's a small place.
See, I would go to Tommy's more often, but it's a fucking 80-something mile drive, and it costs me $45 round trip to go there.
And I would go down to your Red Bank a lot too, but it's too far for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'll do it. I did it once, but when Chip's like, "I'll give you $25 to headline," I'm like, I'm not fucking doing it.
That's gas. You're already barely. And then you got tolls.
If I jump on the turnpike, it's fucking ludicrous amount of money.
Yeah, you're talking about $20 in just tolls.
Yeah. Yep. It's not worth it for me. I did it once just to show him how I did a show with Gary and him and a couple of other people. I don't remember who the headliner was, but I fucking crushed. I fucking Gary takes me aside and goes, "Dude, I haven't laughed so hard in a long time." And I'm like, "Are you allowed to laugh at this? Isn't this like against your fucking pension plan or some shit?"
Well, he's a lawyer, so.
Yeah, I know. Well, not anymore, is he? He's fucking... Gary's the only guy I know that has taken the comedy class 485 times.
Actually, Rich Duggan's in there too. You know Rich, right? Rich was actually.
Rich Duggins looks like every puppet.
He was in Toxic Avenger. Did you know he was in?
Yeah, but he looks like Team America.
Who was the Toxic Avenger?
He was the at the ice cream stand.
Okay.
So there was like 9 actors in that whole movie. And you know, he was the background, I guess, but he was definitely in it. You could tell it's him. But he's been in Chip's class every time I go in there. Right before the open mic, I go in there and he's there. And I'm like,
wasn't the stand and the little Wendy's restaurant all in the parking lot of Giant Stadium? They filmed that or something?
I thought it was upstate New York.
Some reason I thought somebody, because they're based all around, right? Around Rutherford, right? Those
No,
guys?
that's true. They could have done some scenes there, but I think most of it was done in Piermont, New York.
Oh, okay.
Which is right over the border. It's not that
Yeah,
far.
it's close. And
Piermont's
you
nice
know,
town. I like it.
and that's a perfect movie for you, Paul, because it's the budget was probably $5,000.
Oh, Toxic Avenger was fucking awesome.
I loved it.
You know, listen, I'm upset I didn't go see the Broadway musical version just because it would have been ridiculous to go see.
I probably have that video, Dave.
All right, well, you know what else I need like that? Heathers the musical.
Which one?
Heathers. That was an 80s movie, ridiculous movie. What's her name? Shannon Doherty, Christian Slater. Awesome fucking 80s movie. Nice, fun, low budget movie. They're blowing up the school. It's amazing. And then they made a musical out of it like 10 years ago.
Shit, I know the movie you're talking about. I just did when I did a thing for Dexter Resurrection, I got to go to the red carpet and Christian Slater was hanging out there and I'm like, oh, let me see if I could find one of his best movies. And that was hard to do because he doesn't have a lot of great movies, but I think Heather was one of his most popular ones.
That's definitely his most popular. My favorite. Well, I mean, that's my favorite Christian Slater movie. He's been in a couple other ones that I really enjoyed. That weren't like, what was it? Was it True Romance? Or was
you
it
said that, yeah, True Romance, yeah.
Yeah.
That one was good.
Tarantino's movie.
There was one from 1990, Pump Up the Volume.
Yeah,
and that was good.
Radio station.
That's a radio station, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie too. I saw that in theaters.
I thought he was a good actor, but I think he had a lot of issues with his wife and drugs.
Yeah. Well, what was the movie where he killed the hooker in Vegas?
Oh, shit.
What's her name? The blonde chick from The Mask.
I have no idea what it is, but I know Cameron. Yeah, I don't know what the movie was though.
I can't remember the name of the movie. That movie was pretty good too. But it's hard not to like a movie about killing a hooker in Vegas. Just throwing it out there.
No, and I think Nicolas Cage even did one where he had a hooker. He didn't kill her though, but she got. Yeah, I like anything that has to do with Vegas.
That was Leaving Las Vegas.
Leaving Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't murder the hooker. He just fell in love with her.
No, but I think did she die of drugs at the end?
No, I think he did.
Oh, one of them did. Okay.
Was that Elizabeth Shue?
Yeah.
Yeah, Elizabeth Shue, who hadn't done anything in a long time before that, and you know, I never saw her as a hooker. Yeah.
Cocktails.
Oh, Cocktails.
Love that movie.
Cocktails
was an awesome movie.
That was a great movie.
Anything where I could discuss Coughlin's Law, I'm in.
Hey, Adventures in Babysitting.
So one time, what we should do one time, guys, is we should do a show at Tommy's. But you know, you're not going to get $25. We'll split it all evenly.
Yeah, that sounds. I'm in. Let's book it up.
Yeah, we can do it. It's not a problem. And
you know, I like
you
about
just need Hollywood to host it.
Yeah, that'll make.
And then we'll bump him.
Yeah, we'll bump him because he's going to get there late.
No, you know what I'll tell him? I'll go, Johnny, you could do, some time up front. You do about 3 minutes, and then between, you could do about a minute. You know, put these outrageous, things together and see if he goes for it.
He would.
I think he would. He's like Anthony Crescenzo. He'll do it.
Yeah. Actually, no. We have Anthony do that now that he has another newborn. And then we ask Johnny to be the videographer for the show.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, you know, Crescenzo's not going to do Tommy's anymore right now because Carl stiffed him on that last show he did.
Right.
Carl tried to stiff me. You want me to tell you that story?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so they were having a show at Tommy Fox's, and I made a deal with Carl. Anybody that I bring in there will split. Okay. So I'll be getting $7.50 per person. I brought 15 people. Okay. So they're all, and the rest of the crowd was comedians basically, and maybe 5 other people. So it was a halfway full place. And I brought most of the people. So after the show, I said to him, okay, so where's my money? And he goes, what money? And I go, wait, hold on 1 second. I brought people here and we had a deal, and he was drunk. I don't know if he was in the bathroom doing lines or whatever, but he said, you didn't bring anybody here. And I said, listen, if you try to get out that door without paying me, I'm going to freaking kick your ass. And he said to me, well, I hope you're kidding. And I said, I'm not. But and I said, you know what? Because I offered. I said, instead of giving me 120, I think it came out to, I said, just give me $80. Okay. So I even gave him a deal before anything started. And then once I threatened him, he gave me the money, and he pretended like he was only kidding. He didn't understand it. But I heard so many stories about that guy that he rips people off.
It's sad, really. You know what?
He made his career of doing that, basically.
I think so.
I am in my quote unquote real career, in a career that associates with people that he is part of.
Yeah.
A big connection.
The Italians?
Yeah. Dude, he makes a fuckload of money.
Yeah, I heard that he project manager or something, or building manager.
I'm a project manager of turning my fan on. So fucking give me a shit with that.
Yeah, I heard his wife has money too.
Yeah. His.
Yeah, it's probably maybe he's got her money. Maybe how he's weaseling her, and that's how he got so good at weaseling everybody else.
Yeah, but you know what? We got into it because he took over doing the hosting at Comedy Cove during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then he did it for free, so Gene would never hire anybody else. So for 5 years, he hosted, and if he didn't show up, he'd get Andrew Rich to do it for free, which is whatever.
Yeah, I don't like what he does. And
he said to me, dude, you don't need the money. We don't need the money. We just do it for the stage time. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, but then 5 minutes later,
that's not why. I love the stage time. I'm doing it for the money.
Yeah, I love the stage time, and I'm not doing it so much for the money, but there has to be money. Okay, right. It can't be. I can't do for
$90 every show I do. However, I'm not doing it for free all the time.
If either of you two said, Johnny, can you come and help me out? I need somebody to, I don't even care, feature, host, whatever. It doesn't matter. And I'd say, yes, I'll do it. And the first thing I wouldn't ask you is how much money it is. I would just do it. And, and if you tried to give me like money, I'd probably say, no, don't worry about it. You know, you needed it. And you could ask Carucci. I said the same thing to him when I filled in the other night. He's like, oh, I need you to pick up Frank from the, Sea Caucus Junction. And I said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And
I got you, yeah.
We have good friends, so that's why I have a good relationship.
Carucci has never not paid me. I've never not paid anyone. Dave's never not paid anyone. Even if you're getting $10-20.
Yeah.
If it's a guest spot,
I've given a couple bucks too.
Yeah. If I make some money, then I'll give money for a guest spot too. But a guest spot is basically a guest spot, and if you say I'm doing a guest spot, you're not getting paid probably.
Right.
I've had aware of that. You don't drive 150 miles and then find out you're not getting paid.
I've had people like my friend Shari, Shari with red hair.
Yeah.
She if she comes, she supports all my shows. So when she comes to the show, I'll put her up. And I would do that with any of you guys. I tried to do that with PJ, and PJ told me to get you guys out of the front of his club because you were making too much noise. And I said, dude, these are my friends and they're outside. What the hell? Remember when we had to go over to the freaking Rudy's?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted you guys to be there. So I sat at Rudy's. He texted me, oh, you're on next. And I felt like saying, I don't want to go. Okay. But I went there, and I don't understand what his problem was with you guys. But PJ, do you know PJ?
No.
He's really manic. Like he gets angry and then he's happy, and then most of the time he's angry though. So I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the front kid, Brian Boucher, who was running the door. Maybe he didn't like the noise, but whatever it was, I felt very uncomfortable having to do that, and I didn't want to do that. You should have been allowed to come in just like anybody else.
Yep.
So I don't think I've ever told you that, but that's what happened that day. It was shitty.
Yeah.
It's a shitty thing to do, but
in Brooklyn before that.
Yeah, you had a show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just friends meeting up. You know how many, that's what I like doing. That's where I don't need to get paid. If I'm going there, having a good time, speaking with Paul and Dave, and, I'm having a great time. That's what I do it
That's
for.
why there's a few open mics we go to. The hang before is way better than the
hang before and after is.
And after too, right, Dave?
Yeah.
You're right. Most important is in this business is either to make a lot of money or, you know, enjoy what you're doing. And, you know, it's hard to enjoy what you're doing when people are just stabbing you in the back or not paying you when they should, or, you know, using you. That's the worst.
I don't know who came up with this, but
and doing it for free or whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever said this first, it's show business, not show friends.
That's right.
And that's true.
You know where I got that from, though? Jerry Maguire, Jay Moore's character.
Right.
Oh, show me the money.
Right before the whole show me the money thing, he's doing the whole thing. He's like, when he was talking to one of Cruz's clients, he's like, just remember, it ain't show friends, it's show business. Let's get this handed. I'm like,
that's funny.
That's 31 years later, that's stuck with me. That's a great line.
That's a great movie too.
It is.
Yeah.
And less fruity than it was putting it out to be back in the day.
Oh, I wanted to talk about Rodney's a little bit more, if you don't mind.
No, go for it. I was going to ask you about that anyway. Go.
It was so funny.
Did you pay the residual to be able to name a certain name, or?
No, I just I had to pay $500 for marketing. Supposedly, when he puts his name on our website, I have to pay for that. So that was kind of a you know, took $500 away right away. But I was introduced him to Bob Levy. He liked Bob Levy. And I was going to do a show with Bob Levy there. And Bob Levy now took the show and did it himself and brought all the Dabbleverse. I did the same thing with Jackie Martlin. Now Jackie has a show there without me. So it's like, it's bad to tell people what you're doing sometimes, because sometimes they just snag it right from you.
Yeah.
And
we had Levy do that in reverse for us once.
Well, Levy, when I tried to get him to do a show at there, I said, could you do I'll do it at Rodney's with you. And he said, as long as I get paid $2,600 like John did. And I go, well, first of all, John didn't make $2,600. And I barely, and Gino was complaining about that. I only paid him $50. And I'm like, dude, you were a feature. Okay. It was a fucking, you know, and I asked the owner, what do you pay your features? $50. I'm like, so I guess I was right on. He goes, yeah, but you made a shitload of money. No, I didn't. I broke even on that show. When it all came out and everything was said and done, I had to pay for the 17 people who walked out, okay, on their bills, which isn't my responsibility. But, you know, I got to give John a little bit of the responsibility because he was supposed to be up there for 20 minutes while they dropped checks. So, so it was just
there an hour.
Just a shit show, you know. It was fun though. I'll tell you one thing. I'll never forget that in my life. It's epic in the Dabbleverse world.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm pissed about the whole thing is that I actually paid my check when you could have paid it for me. That's bullshit.
You could, yeah, that's true. You could have all walked out on checks, and I would have paid for it. That's.
Can you imagine at the end of it? Remember the Blues Brothers where they go to play at the country bar?
Oh my God, Bob's Country Bunker.
It's $200. I can't do a country voice.
And you guys drank $1,000 worth of alcohol.
Worth of beer.
You was.
So if my brother, usually he'll go and he'll open up the glove box and write it on there, you know, just so they could get into the car and then they're off. That was a great movie too.
I literally just got the 4K version of the extended, because you know there's an extended version of that movie.
I didn't know that.
It's 21 minutes longer.
Is it
a lot of stuff more? It's not just.
Is it like stuff that's in the middle and all over, or is it just new ending?
All over the place.
All over. Okay, I'd love to see it.
Is it good?
You know what it is? That movie was nearly 3 hours, and they chopped it down to what, 220 or 250?
Yeah, 230 almost.
Yeah, but that's a movie that I'll sit for 2 hours and watch it once a month if it's on TV. I don't care.
More than The Godfather. The Godfather, I have to take a few naps between.
I couldn't even tell you now what the story of The Godfather is. It's been so long since I watched it.
I've never watched it fully through.
I watched all 3 over the last month.
Oh my God! And you watch a whole one without stopping?
No, that's what I'm saying. It took me the whole month to get through all 3 movies.
Oh,
I think it was A&E, but they put out a thing called The Godfather, a novel for television. It was all 3 of them into one movie that's like 7 hours long.
Wow!
I downloaded a copy of that, and I'm meaning to. I don't know if I can. Just give me 7 hours of The Sopranos, no problem. But committing to 7 hours,
you're talking 9 hours at least if they did that. Because
Dave could do it.
Johnny, you know what? You ever see The Godfather Epic? where they take 1 and 2 and show it chronologically?
No.
So what they did was they took like all of what's his name, De Niro scenes from part 2. They start with him in Italy and the little kid that plays, Vito in Italy, and they start and they go all the way through, and it ends, out in Vegas.
Wow.
Roth dying, which is that one's 7 hours 20 minutes.
Yikes.
You add part 3, that's another couple hours. You're talking like 9
I'm looking
hours.
to see how long it is.
And
I'm going to tell you what it is.
I would watch that, but yeah, it would take me like 3 or 4 sittings.
Yeah, I swear, any movie that's over 2 hours, I can't. If I'm at the movie theater, I have to go walk outside because my attention span isn't that great, I guess.
It's not just that. I treat it like a comedy show. After that first hour and a half, I'm like, all right, we almost.
That's true. Exactly. If you put 19,
that's why that's a sweet spot. That's why everybody does it. Your 90-minute sweet spot is there for a reason.
Oh, that's what we were talking about the other night, just about that. How when you have 19 comedians on it, that's too much show. Okay.
Yeah. More than 5 is too much.
Hey, you did a show with Pam, right? Pam Mile an Hour. Paul.
Where was that? Tell me.
I think it was down the shore somewhere, but Pam is the big woman.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of comedians on that show. How did that go? I just was curious.
You're talking about the one run by Eileen?
Eileen Key, right? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. How did that go?
Well, I headlined it, which was good.
That's what I'm saying. Was the rest of the show good?
But yeah.
Okay, I got the answer. I got the answer. You didn't have to.
Some of those people are very, very new.
Yeah,
and
that's why I laugh.
And they're
Pam
on shows. They're on shows. Okay,
Pam. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that the Godfather TV special was 7 hours and 3 minutes long.
Anyway, Pam Pam was giving me I don't want to talk over you guys. I was saying that Pam was basically giving me advice one day, and I said, how long have you been doing comedy? And she said, almost a year.
Oh,
and
wow.
I go, oh wow, I've been doing it for 25. Come on, don't tell me what's going on, but I love her. She's a great girl. But she needs to know.
We had something similar happen with Hollywood a couple months ago.
Again?
Oh yeah.
One of our other comic friends is like, hey, John, and first of all, the friend we're talking about, this is the best set he ever had.
Not John.
And he came up and he was loving himself. And Hollywood went out and was awful. And we're like, dude, what are you doing? And all of a sudden, our friend calls him to the side. He's like, listen, take it easy. It's okay. This is what you need to do. And started giving him advice for like 20 minutes. And Hollywood started listening. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever had. If I've ever witnessed. You have this guy that's like 2 years in, talking to this guy that's 20 years in, and giving him solid advice on what he should be doing, which wasn't incorrect. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The most amazing part of it is that guy that had the good set, that was the first good set we've seen in a long ever probably. But all of us, this one time he was better than Hollywood, and we're sitting there going, well, if he knew all this stuff, why wasn't he doing this the last 2 years?
Yeah, what happened? I mean, how did he get? Yeah. Is he still around doing it?
Sort of.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes
right now he's more interested in the production side of it.
Dude, one of my friends from New York, Chris DeFate. Do you know him?
No.
He is brilliant, and he doesn't do comedy anymore. I don't know why. It's like some people just get out of it for no reason. They just burnout. Is it boredom?
No, burnout.
Oh, it's a burnout. They're done. Okay.
Think about what we go through. Like like you said, the before and after the hang, awesome. Being on stage, awesome. The rest of the bullshit can weigh on you.
Yeah, that's true. I got a thick skin, man. I've been.
How many people from like 10 years ago that were doing open mics and starting to do comedy have you not heard from in 5 years?
All of them, almost. All of them, yeah. I would say that out of every 10 people that go through Kip's class, I only see one hang around. So,
and it's 10%. Never the good one. It's never the good one.
Right. No, it's the wrong one. You're right. Absolutely right. That's a good point, is that it's Gary. I mean, the wrong one.
Well, so wait, me and Paul have a friend that used to run a mic in Garfield, and we took it over for him for a little while. Well, he was taking care of some health issues. We'll leave it at.
He was in the Nut House in Morristown.
Oh,
Yes.
I was thinking rehab, but that was my
No,
second guess.
Nut House.
A nut house. Okay.
And during that year and a half, we ran his mic, which he thought was like 6 weeks when he got back. He's like,
Yeah, he
it
says
was
6
like
weeks.
6 weeks. He got upset. Well, what I'm saying, so there were so many people that used to go there all the time, and a lot of them still do comedy, and most of them should not.
Yeah. I think that the burnout should come from those people, and it doesn't.
You would think at a certain point, but sometimes you get a group of people that enjoy being up there, getting high and saying nonsense, even if it's two of their friends left.
Perfect example. A lot of the open mics, and Tommy's is famous for this sometimes.
Tommy's
It's like
on people on shows that suck.
It's like they're talking to each other, the comics. It's like, this is not a show. This is not what open mics are for. You making fun of Al Felony is not part of the show. If you do that and there's people in the audience, they won't understand it.
Exactly.
So so I don't think it's a brother club, whatever.
It's not a comedy show, not an inside joke show.
Dude,
Exactly.
When Tommy
Not your garage.
When Tommy puts a show on and calls it John Hollywood and Friends, but he doesn't get to book any of the other people on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I always book when I do the shows there, it's all my own. The only time I ever got weaseled into a couple was the one Carl won. And I'll never do that again. And you could see Carl had a monthly show there at Tommy's, and he doesn't anymore. So Carl, yeah, exactly. It's all working out through fruition, basically.
So when Crescenzo did that show, that might be the show you were on too. I don't know. He cut a deal with Carl to get like half the money of the whole show.
Yeah, I wasn't at that show, and I was gonna go, but half the money.
Yeah, but not of just people he brought, of everybody, because he was the headliner. That was the deal.
Okay.
And then when at the end of it, Carl said, "What? You didn't bring anybody?" And Crescenzo's like, "Well, the deal wasn't anything to do with me bringing people. It was how many people were in the room."
Right.
And then he sent. I want to say he sent $12 or $13 to Crescenzo or something stupid.
13.
Yeah, it was not a lot of money. It was a very low number.
That is crazy. How many
And
people were?
Then he got all pissed off, and then he said he'd give him 40, but then he only sent him 25, and that was the end of it.
That guy, I just don't like him. And he knows it.
Sense. It makes no sense. As a person, he's a nice guy, but the comedy thing is just, it's weird. I like him as a person because he's in the same business as me in real life. So me and him can have conversations about that shit for hours. But then when the comedy thing is just weird. I don't know. His ego went through the roof when he got that 7-8 million views on TikTok for that shit awful joke he did.
Oh, that dumb Kawana joke or whatever. Yeah. I don't even remember it, but I don't think it's that funny.
No. And you know what's funny? I found a bigger comedian doing the same joke, and I tagged him in it, and he got all pissed off at me.
Oh, that's funny. You caught him.
Yeah.
Listen, I there's every once in a while I run across the same topic as somebody, and it's close. Gary is a perfect example. Gary does his joke about Donald Trump, and he's saying Donald Duck, and I had a joke, same thing, premise with that, and it's if somebody said Donald Duck, they would laugh because they're thinking about a cartoon. So the joke was pretty much laid out. And I stopped doing it because I don't want to get into a situation where Gary says I stole his joke.
I had 2 jokes in the same week show up on TV that I know I wrote, but it's impossible that the person who did it could have seen mine. So they came up with it on their own. I'm not even going to suggest in the slightest way.
You're going to get parallel thinking, but also you got to remember, there are no new premises really.
Yeah, premises is very hard to find.
How you structure your joke is what makes it yours.
Chris Rock
I just
did one of my jokes.
No, Dave, I like that. And get to your Chris Rock thing. I want to hear this.
Do you remember when Chris Rock did the Netflix live show? He did a stand-up special that was live a while ago.
No.
I think it was Netflix's first live event.
Really?
He did a joke that was 3/4 of the same joke I've been doing for years. And of course, who's going to believe me that it's my joke now?
Well, anything topical is going to be that way. And I like what I like what Dave was saying about making it your own, and that's true. All my comedy that I usually write comes from my experiences.
Yeah,
Right. That's why I
So
like to keep it at that.
exactly, and it's easier for me to remember, I guess, because I smoke so much weed. But I think it makes, like you said, it makes it your joke, and it's the same premise as somebody's, but how do my timing's different than his.
I wrote,
Um,
I wrote
you know.
a joke. I wrote a joke from something I saw on the side of the highway. 4 months later, Chris Covert did very, very 90% same joke in front of me at a show, and I'm sitting there going, that's the same fucking. I mean, it's very.
It's very similar, but
my
he's
setup
been
is
doing that for
different.
like 15 years that I know of.
Yeah, that's what but I didn't know Chris Covert, so I definitely didn't see it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know, and I called Chris Covert up and I said, Chris, I just got to talk to you guys. I got this joke. I heard you do this. I have a very similar joke. The punchline is very, very similar, but the premise, my way I introduce it is different, and it's about a different person, but the same thing happens. And he's like, dude, this is. He goes, you're the first person who I've ever had call up and discuss a joke ever.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool though that he talked about
everybody
it.
else would just say fuck it and do it.
I've there's been times where I think it was especially during the holidays, like I don't have a lot of jokes, so I went to one of my friends, Danny McDermott, and I said, "Let me use your joke about church," and he's like, "You know what? That's one of my first jokes I ever wrote. I don't think I could do it." And I'm like, "That's all right, Danny," and I did it anyway.
Yeah.
he wasn't there. He's in California.
You know Victor Ponte?
Oh God.
What's that?
Do you know a guy called Victor Ponte?
The Ponte? No.
Right, he's been in jail a bunch of times. He's like this old school Italian that likes to, anyway. He was on Cops. He was literally, I was watching Cops.
Oh, you mean they arrested him on Cops?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Twice.
Twice.
How cool.
2 times.
So
times.
his acting resume has Cops on it.
Yeah, that and beating up his girlfriend. And you can find his arrest photo online. Anyway, his plan is if he hears you do a joke and then he doesn't hear you do it for a while, that means it's okay for him to do it.
Oh, okay. So he's like Carlos Mencia.
Right.
Yeah, but not as funny.
But worse.
But not as funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, one night we're at the mic. He did this piece. Dave, you can probably tell me it's better.
He literally did one of J-Lat's jokes.
Yeah, he did this joke that
But he did it in front of him and didn't
In
tell
front
him.
of him?
No, it wasn't in front of him. He
Oh.
did it, and then he left, and then J-Lat showed up like 20 minutes later, went up and did the same joke.
Oh, the same joke. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So then Jay looked like a bad guy.
Yeah, that happened more than once.
No, I'm saying before that night you were talking about, there was one time where he went up just before him and did his joke. He's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? It's my joke.
Ah.
He's like, yeah, but I haven't heard you do it. It's all right. He's like,
the
no,
funniest
it's not.
the funniest thing that Victor Ponte ever did
was get arrested on Cops twice.
Yeah, there was that.
What did he do?
We went to a show that was run by the guy that did Def Comedy Jam. He used to do a show in South Plainfield. So it was me, Victor Ponte, and every black comedian you've ever met.
Yeah, Dante Nero and all
all those guys.
Yeah,
well, not that high up. But
so
everybody that was like, we're going to be on stage in front of this dude to put this TV show together. We're going to be
30 years ago.
Yeah. So fucking Victor goes up before me, and he goes, I grew up in Newark. My dad was a Newark cop, so all of you people, I know your struggle.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
it.
Yeah,
that was it. Exactly. That was the right reaction.
Yeah, that puts the brakes on really quick.
Yeah. And by the way, your reaction was much better than the audience's reaction.
Yeah, I was. I'm usually waiting for something, and I guess he didn't come up with any.
No, nothing.
Wow. I was funny this weekend though, because every joke I have has a curse in it, I think. But instead of, like Rob Epple, he had he'd been talking about a bidet in the bathroom. And I said, when I got up on stage, did anybody else go in the bathroom and notice there wasn't a bidet in there? And they said, yeah, what the hell? Why did he say that? And I go, don't worry about it. I shit in his ashtray. So when he goes home, and do
Yeah.
shit like that. Like just, I don't know where I was going with that. I just wanted to say I shit in his ashtray.
That's all right.
Maybe I'm
So-
getting tired. I don't know
Are
what
you
it is.
still doing shows at Rodney's, or is that just done?
No,
now
I could
because-
still do him there. He doesn't want John
Okay.
Melendez around anymore.
That just makes sense.
But
Well,
I
that's
think
$50.
I think I got myself banned from Comic Strip Live though.
You're the only person that got booked for Comic Strip Live for not doing comedy.
Yeah, that's good. So I got a couple of notables in my Wikipedia page.
There you go.
Oh man.
Welcome to the radio wars of 2005.
Yeah, I don't follow the podcast and shit, but I'm telling you, they're out there, and some people are vicious.
Oh yeah.
This has been like I've been in church the whole time with you guys. It feels nice actually. Well, church isn't. Feels more like watching a nice movie. Good time guys hanging out. And these podcasts aren't like that. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna fuck the next guy over, and it's like.
Yeah.
Damn it, man. Do it with your talent. Oh, you don't have any. I'm sorry. So I guess that's their last resort. And Gino, I knew Gino 25 years ago when we first started. And he was kind of, an insult comic, but now he's completely racist and anti-Semite. It's bad. Saying the N-word on stage is not good. Okay.
That was the nicest thing he did.
And it's just wrong, though. I mean,
I think I told you the table behind me
Mhm.
were only there to see Jimmy Palumbo because they saw his name on a flyer,
Right.
and they were obviously Jewish. And when Gino was up there, they're like, "Fuck you, anti-Semite!" But you couldn't hear him because the whole fucking place was shouting.
It was roaring, but when I put the 10 people in the back, they were all Jewish. Steve Garren, his wife.
Right behind, you remember where I was sitting on?
Yeah, you were on the side. They were right behind you.
Yep.
All the way on the wall in the back. And
No. This table was right behind me.
Yeah. If you went straight back to the wall from the stage, they were sitting along the back wall.
These are different people. This was
So
to the
these
left.
these were my people.
Oh, your people. Yeah, no, these are some other people.
The ones that were over to the right, I think, were Jimmy's people, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So
they
walked right through them.
Hold on, Paul. Let him finish.
No. So anyway, the 10 people I brought were all Jewish, okay? And they were yelling back at Gino, "You are fucking anti-Semite." And Gino's fucking just ripping into him about Hitler this and Hitler that. And they came to me afterwards and said, "Johnny, we only came here to see you. So you did most of your act. We're leaving." And the same thing with Jimmy's people. They didn't even get to fucking see Jimmy do it because the chanting was too bad. So I'm sorry. Now you go. I took too much time.
No, you didn't take too much time. Paul's just a cunt.
No, Paul's great to listen to.
No, but I was saying before the show started, I was just talking to that group, not your group, the other Jimmy group.
Jimmy's group, yeah.
And they're like, yeah, when they came out, they were here to see Jimmy. I'm like, yeah, you made an interesting choice of what show.
And Jimmy,
you're in for something you're not expecting, and it wasn't clear to me at that point they were Jewish. It didn't become obvious until Gino went up.
Yeah. Have you ever worked with Jimmy?
Yeah, I worked with him a few times. He's fun.
Isn't he fucking hilarious?
Yeah, great guy too.
He really is. And I've been with him 3 times. One was at Tommy's, and it worked out great. The other one was at the Fort Lee Barrymore Theater, and the spotlights were like we were looking at the 7 suns of fucking Jupiter. It was so bright that I put my hat on. I usually always wear a hat, and I put the brim of my hat down, couldn't see the audience, and I knew where my family was sitting, so I was just directing towards them. But when Jimmy got up, Jimmy kept complaining about the light, and it really, he's really very into his comedy, so much so that if you interrupt him, he'll get out of character and take a swing at you or something. And he does a lot of acting, and he does so much stuff that we were watching a fucking show the other day, the one where the mayor of whatever, the one with the Remy, yeah, that's it, Jeremy or whatever his name is. So he, all of a sudden, my wife goes, "Hey, look at the bus driver," and it was Jimmy Palumbo, and I texted him, "Hey Jimmy, I'm just watching this." And then the funny thing about it was the bus driver was Jimmy at first, but when it left, it was a different person. And I said, I noticed that. Nobody else noticed.
Right.
I go, "Wait, that's not Jimmy." And I said, "Jimmy, what happened?" He goes, "Well, that scene before was shot first and they had to redo it and the guy wasn't available." So, if you knew, like I pick up shit like that.
Yeah.
But nobody would have gotten that it's a different guy. But it's clearly when I
actually
paused it.
enjoy hearing stuff like that behind the scenes talk about.
Oh, I love
My
when people.
favorite-
Go ahead.
I'll say my favorite one of those is the final scene in Something About Mary. Remember that?
Oh, I
movie?
love that.
So there's a scene at the end where he stood on like the dock or whatever it is by the ocean.
Yeah.
And Cameron Diaz comes out and kisses him, and it's the end of the movie, right? But he's facing away the whole time. He wasn't available that day. The fucking guy. It's some dude with a wig on, and if you once you see the wig, you're like, that's a fucking wig.
Yeah.
Until you know that, you don't know. But he wasn't available. The star, I've forgotten his fucking name now, but the star wasn't available for that last scene.
Not Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ben Stiller
okay.
was not available. So if you watch the last scene, it's like about Mary.
That's too funny.
The wig is bigger than Ben Stiller's haircut. It's just so obvious once you know.
Yeah. You like the movie Stripes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Stripes was one of my favorite movies. There's a scene where they're, I think, Bill Murray wants to leave, and then the other guy tackles him to the ground, and he's shaking his head, and the bag keeps moving. First, the bag's under his head, then the bag's over to the right, then there's no bag in the scene, and I pick up shit like that. Another one is the movie 16 Candles. Okay, when they get in the car to go to the church at the end, count the amount of people who are in there and then count the amount of people who got into the car, and then notice that the grandmother is ducking down and walking around it, and you could see her ass on top of her head. So they couldn't fit her in the car, but they had to make it seem like she's getting in the car.
Right.
But I love finding editing.
Do you ever look at moviemistakes.com?
No, I got to go there now because I love that.
Every movie. Anyway,
so I got to watch King of Kong, and then I got to go to videomistakes.com.
No, moviemistakes.com.
Movie Mistakes. Okay.
So the extended cut of Stripes came out not that long ago. It's the original one is 107 minutes. The new one includes 6 deleted scenes. I haven't watched it, but there is 6 more scenes in there. Now was it 6? I think it's either 16 Candles or Weird Science had an extended one came out recently as well.
Oh, really? I like that movie too. That's another corny movie that's good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 16 Candles had an extended cut.
I gotta watch that then, and Stripes too. So
sometimes
Movies Mistakes.
It's like I like to watch it, but sometimes you watch it and you totally understand why they took it out.
But absolutely, I heard. Did you watch the movie about the making of Caddyshack?
Well, I know they filmed
behind the scenes about it.
Yeah, the behind the scenes. But that movie was like 2.5 hours at first, right. And they said no, this is too long. And if you see the stuff that they cut out, it was horrible.
But you realize that movie was filmed, and at the end of it, they decided to put in Bill Murray stuff. That's right. They didn't, and they were all blown up on coke and stuff. It was really the young kids were having sex with each other. It was really a lot of stuff.
My favorite thing about that movie, though, is the scene with him and Chevy was literally ad-libbed and done in one take.
Are you talking about the Goonie Google? When he was he hit the ball into his.
Put them in the garage. Yeah, they're just.
Oh yeah, that was and same thing. They said Bill Murray did everything was improv, but that whole scene was both improv by both of them.
Was improv and done in one shot. That's it, because they didn't get along.
Yeah, and at the end they were in a real bind to finish that movie real quick. So
they did that. I was like, all right, that's fucking awesome.
And look at how it turned out. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, way better than part 2.
I wish I could remember some examples, but there's a couple of movies where they edited a whole character out. They filmed it all, but then they edited the whole character out. I wish I could remember. There's a big one, and it was a big actor too. I know Kevin Spacey did a movie, but before it came out, they fucking the controversy happened with him, and they edited.
Oh, you're talking about with the kid that accused him? Yeah.
That he paid off recently in England.
You don't think it happened?
No. If you give someone $30 million, it probably happened.
It happened, yeah.
Not necessarily.
But I don't think that the kid was underage, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, he
Well,
was
16 is
underage.
legal in England, so I don't
At
know.
at the time of the incident, he was allegedly underage when it.
Oh,
allegedly
okay. Because I thought that he was overage, and it was just a
happened. No, he
fact
was
that
like 15 or 16.
and it was 30 million he got. Jeez,
Some stupid
Tough
number.
call.
Kevin Spacey can rape me for that.
Not
So
again.
there was like there was
Not
a character,
again.
there was a character called Manny that was filmed in Top Gun Maverick, but they
Uh-huh.
edited his whole story out, and you just see him in the background in like one shot.
Oh, and you know who's in the back of that movie too? Tim Robbins at the end.
Is he?
Oh, really?
Yeah, when they all battle and they go back to their thing and they're high fiving, Tim Robbins is in the back.
I have to see. I just watched that twice a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah, you'll see it now because you know him. He's got a big head. You can't miss him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You-
Oh, I
the
love
movie-
it. A movie. You guys got me staying up all night now. I'm going to be watching movie mistakes and King of Kong all night.
Yeah, you gotta tell me what. After you watch King of Kong, though, you don't go on Wikipedia until you've watched the movie, because Wikipedia tells you what happened after the movie too.
I'm not going to watch it to go to Wikipedia. Then I'm just going to watch
Yeah,
it.
go to Wikipedia after.
Good. That's how I'm going to do it then.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm looking at the top 10 people that got cut out of movies. Tobey Maguire was in Life of Pi, but because he became a big star, they edited him out because he was going to be bigger than the main star.
Oh,
movie.
so the main star would have got. Oh, yeah. I guess that could happen. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy because I don't know. That changes the dynamic of the movie completely. So they wrote him completely out.
They just edited his scenes out.
So and they paid him what they were going to.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah,
he
oh,
got paid,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Well,
have to.
You've done enough work where it's like, yeah, well, we cut your scene, but we paid you. You're good.
Yeah, that happens. Sometimes I go into holding and they never use me. So
Yeah,
who
you still
cares?
get paid today.
Yeah, you get paid. Sometimes they let you go early. You get paid for the whole day. I mean, there's a lot of good things about working. The money's not great. I don't know if you guys ever do background. It's not great.
No.
And it's not like I'm looking for the next big break to become a star. I'm just doing it because it gives me something to do.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
fun
okay.
afternoon.
Dave's son does that too.
He's done a lot of that stuff, yeah. But he's trying to break
What
into
was-
some more other things too.
But
What was
he
that
probably
movie
does. He want to be like an real actor, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's not me. I'm just doing it. I like the background. I really do.
What were you saying, Paul?
No, I was gonna say, what was that movie that I just gave you that just came out?
Marty Supreme.
It was a Marty Supreme.
He was cut completely out of one scene, and you could barely notice him in the other.
Yeah, that's what background's all about. And the funny part about it is I had this friend who's he lives in Fort Lee and he's gay. It doesn't really matter
Friend.
if he is or not,
Friend.
but so
Friend.
he what?
Friend.
Oh,
Friend.
a friend. Yeah. Okay. So I just saw the air quotes. So he anyway, where was I going with this? We drive
He was
together
doing
to these things. What were we talking about now?
Background work.
Oh, the
Background
background work. Oh, yeah. So anyway, he's been doing it for a while. I've been doing it for a while, but we never really get good scenes. But over the past year, that's the only amount of time I've known him. We've been
Right.
doing a lot of shots, and every single time, all his scenes get cut out. Every single time I'm in something, I'm seen. And one of them is the opening monologue of Elsbeth. So it's like 2 minutes of me in the camera, and that's weird for background. So.
Yeah.
He's so jealous of me with that, and he dresses like a girl basically because he must be the woman in the relationship. But he's very fashionable, and his face would stick out, and sometimes the face sticking out is bad. Okay,
Right.
like you just said, a star will outshine somebody. Well, if somebody's wearing a bright red jacket, it's gonna distract from it. So,
Yeah.
so
Harrison-
him looking like that doesn't always get on camera.
Yeah, because
So
they're not going to cut the gay guy out of the promo for the Democrat National Convention.
exactly there.
Harrison Ford was supposed to be the principal of Elliot in E.T. He was filmed-
Really?
He was going to be. He was dating someone in the production.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
Well,
cut
you
him out.
gotta remember, Spielberg loves him too.
Yeah, well, they cut him out because they said it didn't go with the rest of the movie. So
I don't
Yeah.
think that he would have been good because it wouldn't have fit with the family thing. Maybe that one,
think
the
that's-
guy who was in there was better. The guy, I forget his name,
Yeah.
Coach. He was the coach on the TV
Yeah.
show.
Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah, Greg T. Yeah, there you go. He's a great actor, and he was perfect for that part. And the other one, the lady, she was really good too. Not Sigourney Weaver, was it?
No. I know you're talking about though.
She looks
Dakota
like her though.
Fanning.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that putting, I don't know, he wouldn't have fit it right in it. But yeah, I good luck to your son, Dave. I hope he gets to where he wants to go.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
I'll
And
ride
and,
the-
and again, like you just said, you can't see anybody in background usually. And the worst
Right.
thing is when they have a perfect angle at you and everything, but it's blurred.
Yeah.
That's the worst. You're like, that's me
I
behind there.
learned a
See
long
the-
time ago.
what's that?
When I was doing stuff O&A, when I was doing O&A, I got put on a few different TV shows, and one of them was the Graham Norton Show from England.
Oh, really?
And I did it was like a contest. There was 4 people, and the celebrities had to guess something, and it was the fucking chick that was married to Tom Cruise. The fuck was her name?
Nicole
not the first-
Kidman?
No, the one after that.
Oh, Dawson's Creek?
Yeah,
That girl? Yeah. What's
it
her
was
name?
her. It was her. It was her boyfriend at the time, and John Voight.
Wow.
Right, and they took my picture, and they made my head bald, and then they put up like 5 different haircuts, and the celebrities had to guess which was my real haircut.
Oh, that's funny.
Which one
No.
gets Lego?
Yeah, exactly. And I bragged to everyone at my job that I was on the fucking show, and then when it came on, they only showed 3 out of 4, and guess which one they didn't show?
You.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's
luckily,
tough.
luckily, I had someone that I befriended down there because I'm like that, and I managed to get the tape.
Oh, that's cool. So you have the original. That's cool.
Yep. And then the DVD that came out in England of the show, it's in the extras too.
How did you like working in radio, Paul?
Well, I mean, working's a bit of a generous fucking way to put it.
Well, whatever. How did you like being involved?
It was so much fun.
It's one of my favorite things to do. It's spontaneous. It's more spontaneous than comedy is, because comedy, we write our jokes. We might do crowd work or something, but somewhere we intertwine it. Radio's a different animal, man. It's hard. And, I don't think I could do even what you guys are doing right there. I couldn't do this every night. I just couldn't.
O&A there, I was there a lot. I mean, I wasn't a lead character by any means, but I did hours and hours and hours on that show.
And you were with Compound at all?
I was on that. We were on Compound. Me and Hollywood did Chrissy Marr's show like 2-3 times.
Okay, and Gino had a show there too, right?
Yeah. And Carl was on Gino's show.
I heard.
Yeah,
That relationship's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been sad if they'd have sent clips to his job with Gino going, Holocaust.
Well, you know what it is. So Gino's married, so he's not allowed to bang other women. So I think his wife gave him permission to fuck Carl.
Hey.
They don't do shows without each other. I tried to get just her, and they were like, oh, it's a package deal. But the funny part about it was, when I did the Rodney show and Gino was complaining about his $50, the next day he was supposed to do the Tommy show. And I told them, I'll give you guys $100 each. Okay. If you come out to the here. And
right?
Gino said no. And I said, well, that's fine. That's all I'm going to give you. Okay. And his wife came.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kiana came anyway. I gave her the 100 and I gave her an extra 20 for Gino and said, don't give it to him though. Tell him it's for him, but keep it. But
Gino was an upgrade from Jason Scoop, right?
Yeah. Who's Jason?
Which fucking Keanu's fucking Gino's coattails, but they're actually a clown mask.
Yeah. But her act is all based upon Gino. I don't think that all of it is, but for the most part, she's talking about Gino because he was up there.
Gino at that show.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't there.
No, she had to do crowd work, and I have you worked with Keanu?
No.
Not really. I think I did
Okay.
a show with her a long time ago.
She's not horrible, but it was Tommy's and it was all my family. She picked the wrong people to do crowd work with.
Okay.
Because they would have tore her apart if she started to get momentum. But she didn't have Gino. And it was different. And she was still good. But it's just was funny that Gino didn't even come.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know?
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty douchey to not come, even though, I told him I'll double the money I gave you last night, and this is a nice place in Jersey. Well, I'm going across the bridge. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. That's why I'm giving you 100. So,
Didn't somebody pick Keanu up anyway?
did they what?
Didn't someone go and get Keanu, give her a ride anyway? Was that you or was that?
No, she got an Uber and then was supposed to go home with John, but Gino was talking to John and he sounded drunk. So Gino wouldn't let her get in the car with John. She wanted to. It was a shit show. So he was trying to fuck up the show even after the show. So
Wait. So some girl didn't want to get in the car with John?
no, I can't believe that.
I know,
drunk
really.
John.
John,
No.
this is the car ride. Your name's Keanu. Can you do this?
Yeah. Are you Asian?
Are you Asian?
That's too funny. John told me something that was really funny though. He said when we were talking about Gino, I'm like, oh yeah, he's lucky. He's got a girl that's 20 something years younger than him, and John says, well, if I just knew her a year earlier, I'd have had her. And I inside laughed my ass off. It was the funniest thing I ever heard. And well, he just believes that he's so handsome and everything that he would have gotten her. And I'm like, well.
The crazy part, because he was married way before that, so I don't think that would have been the case.
Well.
He was still been married, so I don't think he would have had her.
Well.
And she's not actually Asian, so he wouldn't have tried.
Is his ex-wife Asian?
No,
he hasn't got an ex-wife.
But he likes Asians.
He likes the sideways pussy.
Wait, time out. So I could call her his ex-wife because even though they weren't married to each other, she is married now, and she's his ex.
Okay, I got you. So she's married to somebody else and never was married to him, but she is his ex.
Yes.
Kind of.
I like this because if I don't understand Paul's accent, Dave will explain it to me.
Well, Dave didn't
I am
mention.
his translator.
Dave, yeah, we'll give you details off here. But Dave doesn't mention that when she got married and she's been posting honeymoon pictures.
Oh, well, I figured you would. That's why.
I've tagged John Hollywood on every single one of her wedding pictures.
You mean Melendez?
No. Hollywood.
You tag Hollywood on them?
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm going to start doing that now. I'm going to tell you.
I get a random, when you hit the Instagram Explore page, anytime there's an Asian, like, hey, John, here you go.
I got to tell you something that Joe DeVito?
Yeah.
Okay. Me and Joe started a long time ago. He's great. I love him. He works for, I think, one of the, I don't know if it's Gutfeld or something, one of those shows. But what I used to do to him, I used to go to his Wikipedia page and I used to put under where it said family, I used to just write Danny DeVito's son.
Right.
And he would eventually find that. And then I'd be like, oh shit. And so I would change something else that was so close. That he kept saying, who the fuck keeps doing this? And I was afraid to tell him but you don't tell him.
Dave, tag the show.
Dave is texting him right now. There he
I
is.
still can't get over John saying he could have got that girl a year earlier.
I'm not kidding when I said, Paul, that I was laughing so hard inside, I was going to explode in a second because
this is the true story. Yeah, you know what? A year earlier, I could have got her, but then the police car drove by, so I had to stop.
Well, wait. So,
or I had her in the trunk.
Yeah, exactly.
His ex-wife. He's not even the first comic to have banged this girl. He's like number 6, I think. But he was the one that was in love with her. So there you go.
Yeah, he really wants her, Keanu, but he's never gonna get her. And my guess is that's a short-lived marriage anyway. I think that eventually she'll wake up.
No, he'll die.
Or that.
His lifestyle, he will not be alive as long as she.
Well, that's one of her jokes, is that she says that she would make a really good-looking widow.
She would.
And-
She's not
and-
wrong.
She's absolutely right, and that makes me laugh. But I don't wish it on him, obviously.
No,
But,
I don't want to wish that. But yeah, no, it's definitely true.
but
Dude,
that's
you saw what happened. Fucking Jimmy Kimmel did a bit about Melania being a future widow the day before that guy tried to shoot everybody.
wow.
Now Trump just put out a thing saying that Kimmel incited this guy.
Well, here's a really funny thing. On Saturday night when we were doing this show, I have a joke about Trump. Okay, and my joke is that Donald Trump, you can't kill him, you can't prosecute him, nothing's going to put him in jail. And it's weird because the last time I saw him was at that rally when they were shooting at him, and the guys were shooting at him, and the Secret Service is yelling, "Donald Duck, Donald Duck." And that's where I get the ha ha ha, and the only thing I could think of at the end was that, thank God Chris Christie wasn't up there because the sniper would have never missed that fat fuck.
No, you're not missing that one.
No. See, I just went off into a rant and now I forgot what I was talking about. Can we rewind?
Yeah. That normally happens. Well, Dave, do you remember the other day I wrote on Facebook, I hate the Christians. It's their fault I can't get a good chicken sandwich on a Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah.
funny.
And then 10 minutes after it, somebody shot up and killed a bunch of people in the Union Chick-fil-A in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh,
someone.
I remembered. My short-term memory came back.
Yeah. This kid, oh, go ahead.
So anyway, on Saturday when I told that joke, as soon as I got off the stage, somebody said, "Did you hear that they shot at Donald Trump?" And I go, "You got to be fucking shitting me."
The guy didn't even make it into the fucking room, but that's another story.
It's exactly, and they made so drama about it. The guy was like 2 big rooms away. He didn't shoot anybody. He was just shooting random.
No, he did. He shot a Secret Service agent.
Oh, he did. I didn't hear about that.
His bulletproof vest caught.
Oh, that's good. At least
they did. Ironically, though, from what you just said, they did charge the guy today with trying to kill the president.
Yeah, attempted murder of the president.
Yeah, but he could. The defense could get around that, but he's gonna
get convicted of that. But the other charges, he will.
He's gonna first thing when you run into somewhere like that with a gun and shoot it, just discharging your weapon's gonna put you away for 20 years.
Because it was a federal thing. It's at least 20 to 30.
Now we're 40 or 50, so he's gonna be in Guantanamo.
Using a weapon for a crime was another one he got charged with, and some other shit.
Yeah. Not paying for his parking. He parked outside and they towed his car, so he's going to have to pay for that when he gets out.
And you know what else? He also not getting paid for hosting that.
Oh, that's true.
His defense is going to be, I was looking for Carl. He didn't pay me for a comedy fucking spot.
Yeah, so I was in the wrong room. I didn't know that the president was there. And the funny thing about that whole situation is that Donald Trump actually talked about going back in and finishing dinner.
He wanted to go back in and do the show.
I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? How
they're
do you know that?
Again, they said within 30 days they're going to do the whole thing again.
How do you know that guy wasn't a distraction? You know what I'm saying?
Once Secret Service took care of that and told him that everything was clear, that's when he went back in and said, "I want to do this again."
Oh, okay. Regardless,
like, clear, let's go. What do you mean? They said it was fine. Let's go in there. Listen,
yeah.
As the 3 showbiz people here, the show must go on.
Yep.
Right.
I just want to be there.
He wants to go up and do his time. God damn it!
I want to be there at his parents' house when the fucking 200 camera crews and the Secret Service show up.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine opening the door to that?
And it's definitely happening. They're going to tear apart everything.
Oh, dude, they were there a fucking hour later.
Yeah.
They found a manifesto where he sent to all his family some bullshit.
Yep.
And seriously, I hear that the guy's like a computer geek, and he doesn't have any. He was a Republican. All this shit that I'm like, how is this? What's going on with these people?
Autistic is the word you're probably looking for. But
autistic.
Yeah, probably.
No filter Chris Allen, they called him.
Yeah. now it came out today. So I read one of the outlets, and it was a good one, not some wanky fucking Facebook page. Said that his family reported him to someone for some of the shit he was saying.
Really?
Yeah.
Never did anything.
In Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. And same thing with the guy from where was he? The guy who shot at Trump. I think the guy who killed Kirk's guy.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, his parents turned him in. They were like, okay, here you go. He's right there.
Well, you see the
But
latest one?
His dad is a cop.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, because his dad's like, I gotta.
Well, you gotta. I mean,
Think of his dad's
seriously.
reputation.
I could love my kid all I want, but if he did something like that, I would have to say, you know, I'm not going to sneak out of the country, kid. You know, you did.
I would not say that. I would try and find a way to sneak out of the country. Like, I can't believe my kid would do that.
I don't know how real it is, but it was on some good websites. They're saying that they did the ballistics on the bullets and they didn't match that guy's gun.
Right.
Weird.
So I don't know if he had another gun. That would be the explanation, is he had a different gun.
Supposedly he had a shotgun and a handgun and some knives. So
no, that's the guy. That's the guy.
Saturday. He's talking about Kirk.
Oh, you're talking about the Charlie Kirk guy?
Yeah.
So he had I heard about that, but didn't he write something on each bullet too?
Yeah, fascist.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a weird situation. Do you think that it might be he didn't shoot him?
No, I think he shot him with a different gun.
With a different gun. So he got rid of the one and had a different one.
I mean, have you seen some of the moves the lawyers are doing with that one guy that shot the what's his fucking Luigi? The guy, what did he shoot? The
Mangione, yeah.
Yeah, who was it he shot?
He got the United Healthcare guy.
United Healthcare.
Oh,
guy.
where he was trying to go he went into the wrong place, right?
They're saying all kinds of crazy shit that they're putting in every motion you can think of.
Yeah.
So that's what an attorney's supposed to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who do that shit. They get to the end and they fight it, and you know, money will get them usually less of a charge. But in these instances, I don't know how that guy's going to get out of it. What could he say? Like the Boston bombers and stuff are sitting in a cell for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. Listen,
well, the one guy
get a friendly, jury that like, so his theoretical reason behind it is, well, they screwed my family over with healthcare and life-saving stuff. I can empathize with that, and I guarantee you there's at least one person on that jury that's had problems with their healthcare before. That's
true. But then they would try to get that person off the jury. Yeah, but
they should get an English jury because they all had free healthcare. You know what's going to happen with that Luigi guy? It's going to be a plea. They're going to offer him a plea eventually, and
I think that it's going to be that he doesn't get killed.
Yeah,
they're gonna take the death penalty off.
Yeah, I think that's all it is. Because seriously, if he gets 40 years in jail, how old is he now?
20 or something.
60. He's going to be 100.
No. How old? No, he's going to be 60 in 40 years. He's like.
Oh, so he's only 20 right now.
Yeah, he's in his 20s.
Oh, that's right. I keep going to the wrong kid. Yeah, that's right. He was young.
Wasn't he a guy from Subway too?
Ugh.
He kept going to the wrong kid.
No, he didn't. They found him.
When we were young, we had to listen to the Bernie Getz stories, Son of Sam, all that shit. Bernie Getz was my hero for a minute. What he did was wrong after it was said and done. But when I first heard what he did,
I get it.
I do get it, but he did it the wrong way. He didn't. He was looking. He was looking for it instead of just being prepared. He was looking. So, I think he deserved to be in jail. But Son of Sam was going to be getting out, I think, soon.
Well, in his defense, I mean, his dog was making some rational points.
That's true. It wasn't him. It was his dog. That's funny.
Throwing it out there. You don't take advice from your dog? I do all the time. Take me for a walk.
Pick up my shit.
I always give it to the dog.
That's right. We have to pick our dog shit up. So
here's the crazy part. Dave doesn't have a dog.
We do.
It's in his head.
Imaginary dog.
It's that head. It's this dog in my head.
Whatever you like. That's how I hear him. So clearly.
Oh my God, that's funny.
That's funny. Wow, it's 9 already. Holy shit. This has been a nice talk.
No, definitely. We're going to get out of here momentarily.
No, I'm not in any rush. Keep talking. This is fun. I want to talk more about the Dabbleverse. Do you know anything about it, really?
Yes, a bunch of guys that started podcasts and they were talking about different podcasts, and then they stumbled upon our good friend
John, right? And that was
and
because
then
of
they started fighting online, and then they
Well,
started.
no. So somebody else that used to be on Stern's show with them
right,
decided
Shuley.
to start doing the breakdown of his show and how awful it is.
That would
Which-
probably be Shuley, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I worked with Shuley. I was at Stearns before Shuley was even there. And Shuley's a funny guy, but John, not if you ask John. But so anyway, what I really wanted to get at was these guys were all against John. If John would have disappeared tomorrow, who would they go after?
They find someone.
Each other?
Well,
Like, dude,
no,
does Ray DeVito like whatever Kevin Brennan? Are they friends? You know,
I don't think so. They might.
yeah, I don't think so either. So I think that these guys
Kevin Brennan might be next.
they all came on board to wreck John's show. And then if John wasn't there, they would. It's just a strange group.
Kind of goes back to what they used to say behind the scenes at the O&A show. It's like we have rabid fans, but eventually they're going to kill us.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And that's dangerous. That's true. You could fuel these people to do what they do too. I mean, that's how it works. If I don't know who the king of the Dabbleverse is. Let's just say it is Kevin Brennan. And if Kevin Brennan says, "Hey, why don't you go? Who can hack a computer and go and ruin this guy's credit?" They would do it, and that's malicious. That's bad.
That's terrible.
That's horrible. John.
I would say that Kyle and who are these podcast guys are probably.
I've seen them
more higher up than Kevin.
He's like this tall.
Yeah.
And the funny part about it, this is the funniest thing about the Rodney show. And the guy the owner at Rodney said it was the weirdest thing he ever had. Most of the tickets were single tickets. And that's very strange. That means that they're all fucking losers by themselves.
Yeah, that's what they said about O&A fans. They said they're all single. They're not with a girl, and they're all fat.
That's funny.
No,
yeah, but
that was all Ron and Fez's fans.
Yeah, no, Ron and Fez fans.
I loved Ron and Fez.
Yeah,
I liked them.
Ron's got cancer. Did you hear that?
Fez's girlfriend was hot.
Really?
Yeah,
the one in Niagara Falls.
She lived in Niagara Falls.
She didn't exist.
No.
He was gay as a $3 bill. But yeah, Ron just got diagnosed with cancer a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's sad to hear.
That is terrible.
Hopefully, his fake girlfriend in Niagara Falls can comfort him.
No, Fez is dead already. So.
Oh, he's dead. Okay.
Yeah. No, the other Ron Bennington's.
Ron, the straight guy.
Ron Straight.
If you ever get a chance to see Ron Bennington do stand up, he is literally one of the best.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think we get that anymore, though.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he will. Actually, no. I thought he was.
If he goes to remission, there's a chance.
No. I think he just did 2 shows.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he's came out of his stand-up retirement because he's like. If I'm gonna
that's what I'm saying. I thought he retired a while ago.
Yeah, I think it was at Cellar. For some reason, I think it was.
That's really cool that he's that good.
Yeah, he's good.
Because I a lot of times when people get on radio, especially the big stations, it's not by accident. Okay. It's not like let's see. Like in acting, you could get your big break. That doesn't happen in radio. Radio, in New York, we look for whatever is good in the nation. And we pick them from that pool. So we're putting people in there who are established already in this market. And that it's not easy to be in it. And I've tried, don't get me wrong. But these people like my friend Leslie Gold, the radio chick, Maria Melito, they're all people that, I admire them. How much Jim Kerr, Shelly Sunstein, all these old time Meg Griffin, they're just really good at what they do, and now they all work at 104.3. It's like
I remember when O&A were at NEW and Leslie Gold, I think was at
that's
NEW
right.
at the same time.
That's right. Leslie Gold was at 102.7 too.
They didn't hate her, but she was just on the list of people to fuck around with a little bit.
Yeah, she did not.
They sent me to a book signing for her in like 2006, and we put wow stickers in every book before she signed them.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but
See,
she stick them in there or just leave them in there.
No, just leave them in there.
Okay. You didn't ruin the book. Okay, that's funny.
Now Stern they had me super glue a wow stick to his limo.
Oh wow. They had you doing some really funny shit.
Oh, we did some. Yeah. There's video of my fat ass chasing when Stern did Letterman. There's a video of me chasing the limo and sticking a wow sticker on the back of it
with Ronnie driving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Did they, anyway, I was going to say that Leslie Gold is a person you do not want to fuck with. She is a hard ass smart girl. You know, and she's got a lot of power. And her husband, I think they're married now. Carmine Appice, do you know him?
Yeah.
He's from Vanilla Fudge. He's a drummer, and his brother Vinny Appice plays for Black Sabbath. So they're really, really established. And when she got bought out from the, you know, when she didn't go to Sirius, she just left CBS 92.3, and she got a lot of money. They all got a lot of money, and then they brought on people like JV and Elvis. You know, but Nick DiPaolo, I think, was doing a show, and I got a show together with Gino and Rick Shapiro to go and they were gonna go and produce it to be on O&A's thing, whatever their network was. And instead of taking me on it, they went by themselves. And that's one of the reasons I didn't talk to Gino for 10 years. Okay, because I was pissed at him. You know, and you know, it's fucking just cutthroat. So
you talking about on Compound, or you talking about before that?
No, this was before they went there. This was when they were at I think Sirius or whatever. They were trying to get a show over, or no. This was before Sirius.
So NEW.
They were at 92.3.
Yeah, O&A was at NEW though.
No, they were at NEW, but then they went to 92.3 as well.
They went to 92.3 after Stern left.
Correct. That's when all this was taking place. And so they were like Nick DiPaolo had a show, Jim Florentine, they were all doing spots to fill in because they didn't know who was going to do any shows. Stern left, everybody was leaving. So I produced a show for them. I put a pilot together for them. They sold it to O&A over there, and they got a show, but the karma hit them. It lasted one day. Rick Shapiro curses too much. And it's regular terrestrial radio. You can't do that.
Back then he did.
Right. He was, and now he just mumbles. I talked to him like the other day, and it's sad. And his brother died, and he's not doing too well. But
him and Tracy used to live in Jackson, so I used to see him all the time, and they used to come to my house to do the podcast. Rick,
is that Florida?
He's in Florida now. Yeah.
And
she's bartending. She's got some pretty decent gigs to bartending, but I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, he's not doing anything right now. He's got I think one of those diseases.
He's definitely shaking.
Yeah, the shaking disease with Parkinson's maybe, but it could be something else too.
I like Rick. I knew Tracy before she knew Rick.
And Tracy, you knew Tracy before Rick? Yeah,
she was doing, there was some connection to O&A that she was coming.
Did you know?
I don't know if she represented some people in some way, or she was an employee of someone, because
she tried to represent Rick. That was the whole reason I wasn't part.
Before that, I think there was a connection in marketing of some kind.
That's funny. Well, I only went to her apartment once, and her apartment, when we went up there, all of a sudden another guy came out of the room, and I'm like, wait, this is a 1-bedroom apartment, and Rick is dating her, and she's here. No, she was just freeloading on that guy. It was a beautiful fucking place too, with overlooking the city with a balcony and shit. So she was just hanging out basically, and I guess the guy, maybe it's his, whatever, threesome they had. I don't even know. And Rick would be into it. I'm not, he was a fist fucker too. So he, he would definitely be in it, but I thought it was really strange. And when I saw her trying to get involved in the whole thing, I'm like, dude, what's going on? She's not the manager. And then she talked them into bringing it over there, just her and Gino and Rick. And when I found out that they got a show, I was like, I was pissed. And then when I heard it, and then I didn't hear it the next day, I was like, well, karma bit him in the ass, But then Gino got a pretty good gig with Cumia for a while.
Yeah, with Aaron Burke.
Yeah. And
then Aaron Burke quit because Gino was too racist.
Didn't Aaron Burke lift him up off the ground one time?
Yes.
By the neck. I've heard that story, and I believe it. I like Aaron. Aaron's a great guy.
Aaron is an awesome dude.
But for Aaron to say somebody is too racist, that says something right there.
Exactly. It's coming from a racist.
I remember when we had Aaron Burke on our show, and he called me, I'm Aaron, a bit of a filter. I'm a bit of a filter Aaron, following No Filter Paul.
A bit of a filter.
Yeah.
A bit.
Now, you
I
were
know
talking
him
about
from the
Leslie and
Friars Club
Carmine
too.
before.
What was that?
You were talking about Leslie and Carmine before.
Yeah.
One of my the old podcasts me and Paul used to do. We interviewed Carmine with Carlo in Animal House a couple years back.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because
He's-
Carmine is the
funny.
most down to earth person I've
Yeah.
ever met.
Yeah.
That would be a cool thing. I was going to go see them. Vanilla Fudge was just at the cutting room, and I had a show. I couldn't do it. So, but I just think he's such a great guy, and he knows me from the Gong show that I did for Leslie. I'm the guy with the bag on my head. So
Yeah.
he's always like, "Hey, Johnny, it's the unknown convict." He calls me, and I go, "Yep, that's me." And you're the guy who plays guitar. I mean, drums better than anybody, right? That's you.
Yep.
You were with Rod Stewart, and I did a joke about him on stage. I said, Carmine, the 70s called. They want your hair, your mustache, and everything back. And he was like, so he was a great guy to work with. He would
But
really
you can bring
was.
out the Quaaludes if you can still find them.
They don't make them anymore, do they?
They stopped making them like 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
Yeah, but somebody always finds them in a safe somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe it.
Yeah. Remember, what was it? Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
When they would, oh my God, that was so freaking awesome when he was driving the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next day he thought it was the car was okay outside.
Oh, he thought everything was good, and then
Yeah.
you just look and see a trail of havoc.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yeah, I've been there
but
too.
Dave, you're driving a
But
Kia
been
Soul.
there.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Dave's the only person I know that pulls out in front of an ambulance. No, you're
Well,
laughing.
So wait.
I
let me
don't
tell
know if I do
story.
that.
Let me tell that story.
Tell
I'm
me.
getting ready to leave a parking spot in front of the house. I look, there's an ambulance across the street, parked, stopped, not moving, lights on, no siren. They were getting somebody out of the house. I'm like, all right, cool. I start the car, I look around, I'm like, all right. I go to take off, I pull out. He went flying by and fucking hit me.
Oh shit!
No sirens, nothing. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And you
that
know
was
it's
car number
bad.
806.
Wait, you know it's bad when the person inside the ambulance had to get another ambulance to take.
Oh yeah, to take them. Yeah, when the driver of the ambulance needs they need a tow truck and another ambulance.
And their ambulance was good to drive, but the person that was inside was a little shaken up, so they had to take them in a different ambulance.
That is
Yeah.
too fucking funny. That's like when Jerry Seinfeld's visiting his father, and he's at the old folks' place down in Florida, and they go, "Somebody get an ambulance," and they go, "I think Mrs. Whatchamacallit's done with hers already." So
Yeah.
that like 'cause the next minute, one of them's gonna need an ambulance. But that's funny. That's hilarious.
We need it phase 2 tonight. Del
Phase-
Boca Vista phase 2 from Seinfeld. Del Boca Vista.
Oh, the Boca Vista Phase 2. Now I got you. Yes,
No.
or is it Del Boca?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, the press is gonna kill your father. The press? It's the newsletter.
The newsletter for the complex.
Dude.
I love that whole scene where he's like walking away.
Oh,
There was
after he
no-
gets
Yeah.
impeached,
Yeah.
and they
With
play the
whole
sad
Nixon
music,
thing
and he's
thing.
that wasn't that like a Godfather theme?
Yeah, they played the Godfather thing, but there was the scene was basically a ripoff of Nixon saying goodbye to everybody.
It's Nixon, okay.
Yeah.
Because they always have some subtle innuendo that it means something, and
Like the whole Keith Hernandez thing when they were doing the
with the spit.
back and to the left. There was a
Yeah,
second
and it was the Kennedy thing. Where was the guy? Well, he was on that grassy knoll.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, Seinfeld's
And what's his
genius.
name was actually in JFK too.
Really?
Yeah, the big dude.
You're
That's
talking
like
about
David
Richards?
No, the one that played Newman.
Oh, the fat guy. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
He was
What's
in
his
that.
name?
He was in Jurassic Park, and like right after each other.
I think he lost a lot of weight.
That I can't see him. That's gonna be too weird.
Yeah, he looks skinny now. I think, I don't
It's
know,
like when you
whatever.
look at Jonah Hill now. I don't want to look at that. I want to remember that jolly bastard from Superbad.
I think I've seen many comedians that lost weight and their act went out the window too. Will Sasso is one of them. He
Yeah.
lost a lot of weight, so they made fun of it on Mad TV. that, oh my God, he's not funny anymore. So all he started doing, they made a skit where he's just eating everything that he can say.
Back into comedy shape.
You seen that? Yeah, it's
Like
funny.
John Burnett.
Well, I had to do that too. Like I lost a lot of weight too for a while there, and I'm like, I actually had a comic who's like, dude, you can't do the fat jokes no more. Like I lost 90 pounds. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Fuck.
Yeah,
Dude,
Dave's whole act was about stacking pizzas so you had different toppings to save calories. That was literally his whole set.
Yeah, when I was,
he goes up there, he's 140 pounds, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm a fat fuck," and everybody's like, "What? Who?"
yeah, I used to always do fat jokes, and then I had my pancreas problems, and I lost 80 pounds, and I was 119 fucking pounds. And I look like when I stepped off the bed after being in the hospital for 3 months, I couldn't even stand. That's how bad it was. I felt doing a fat joke wasn't appropriate anymore, and I said, "Fuck that! I'll still do them." I think they're funny.
And that's why you're opening for Stuttering John.
Who mumbled that?
Well, what do you think?
I know who it was. He's doing a ventriloquist act over there.
Exactly.
I thought it was Carl for a second. Do your Carl impression. Do your Carl impression and don't be funny.
Well, so do his own act.
So do his act and swing the mic like, here's the mic. Wacky nudie, whatever it is. Wakanuda.
We should send his act.
When I make fun of his closer.
We should send his act to Nathan Lane and say he's ripping you off.
Exactly. Nathan Lane will probably still kick his ass.
Oh yeah.
And then he'll fuck it.
I do have to get out of here though. I got to wrap this up tonight.
Okay, let's wrap it up. It's only been 2.5 hours.
Johnny?
What's that?
Johnny, if that's too long.
What kind of plugs you got?
I have I would have to go to my phone for that. I have a couple of shows. I think they're at Tommy's, whatever. But I'm focusing right now on background work, and I want to step away from this Dabbleverse thing for a while. And I still do my shit, but I just want to do it quietly right now until
put a show together for us all at Tommy's, bro.
What was that? One more.
Put a show together for us at Tommy's. Let's do
No,
it.
that's what we're definitely going to do. And then I'll come back on and then we'll promote that. And we'll get that sold out. That's easy to sell out.
I'll post it in the Dabbleverse sections on Reddit.
Exactly. And we'll invite them. I don't care. I don't give a shit. They can come because as long as they're not incited by anybody, they just sit there and they tape it and then they go back and they make fun of it.
Dude, no one cares. It's no one they want to record except John. And if he's not
exactly.
there,
so nobody's going to do anything. And I've had that situation where we did the show for John Greer. You know him, right?
Yeah.
We were out at Greer Fest doing a show in Pennsylvania. And, there was people in the audience who I saw at the shows before who were definitely in the Dabbleverse. And they loved the show. Mm-hmm. They actually didn't do anything. Not that John's act is great or anything, but if he does his act, it's okay. He's got stories. He's not the best comedian, but he's one of those people who has stories, and if you let him tell them, maybe you'll enjoy the story.
The same stories he told 30 years ago. But
exactly, that's what most people make fun of, is that he's doing the same things. But the stories don't change. He hasn't been on there for a while. Right. So the story is never going to change unless he embellishes, which he might. Now he'll or say something about Trump. He doesn't like Trump. We know that.
The latest event in Dabbleverse, I'll give you the update.
Yeah, please.
Kumia is going to sue John as soon as the case again. So John sued Shuli and those other guys,
right? And
they keep doing motions, so now he can't afford a lawyer. And he's got some TV lawyer now, and that guy dropped out, and he hasn't got any money, so he's starting to GoFundMe. But when that whole thing gets kicked out, which will be very soon, Kumia is suing fucking John.
What does he want to sue him for? Do you know?
Doesn't matter. He's gonna.
No, I don't care. It doesn't matter, and I'm not gonna.
I'm saying Kumia's got a bottomless checkbook, so
I figured that.
So somebody found out. I don't know how they could have found it, but yeah. He's trying to transfer his house in Florida to his mom's name. So he has nothing in his name that Kumia can take.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, he doesn't have to
explain it to someone on there. I'm like,
Florida, they can't do it anyway.
Florida's the state where OJ went to prevent that.
They can't take your house away in Florida. So if he's doing that, he needs the money.
Yeah, he doesn't. You know what? I don't. I like John and everything, but I don't. I think sometimes he's so frazzled that he doesn't really make sense. Seriously, and he does things like he is actually making it easier for the Dabbleverse to go against him. And I told him, why don't you just go against them? And suing them is not the answer. Just make fun of them. You know, have that little back and forth thing going on that O and A and the Stern fans.
More fun.
Now, John, I'm not John. Paul.
Dave.
When you worked at O&A, the O&A and the Whack Pack from Stearns, they weren't friends. You know, they were enemies somewhat, but they never fought. You know what I'm saying? They were just
everybody from both camps got along perfectly well, except
exactly.
Except
Not that they loved each other, not they were loyal to Howard or to Opie and Anthony, and you know there was never any of this, never.
Right.
And that's the thing about it is that when I didn't do the Jubilee show on purpose, they wanted me on it, and I'm like, dude, I know what they want to do. They just want to rip apart John and probably me too. So I said, nah, I don't. I told them last minute I don't want to do it, and then I even told Kevin Brennan I'll go on his show, and that was just to fucking yell at him. If he let me get on, but he never did. So, I like the fact that we had a good time here tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. Wait, Paul, where can everybody find you at, Johnny?
We can find me at Johnny McCarthy at 201 at Instagram. That's my Instagram.
Don't give that out.
That's my Instagram. So you could hack that account if you want Dabbleverse, but I don't have anything going on. Just I'll be in a couple of things coming up. Mindy Kaling production of Not Suitable for Work that comes out June 2nd. And the Daredevil one. So I got shit going on, but I like to just keep it quiet. We'll talk about the next show that we're gonna have. Me, you, and Dave.
Ask me the dumbest question. Can you make a full-time living out of doing extra stuff?
I don't think so. I've tried, and I don't think you could do it. You have to move up to the next level, which is join SAG. And
my son is a SAG.
His son is in that.
Exactly. So he's doing the right thing. He wants to go up. That's the way to do it. If
my
you're
son
on set,
doing the Marty Supreme movie, there was a couple of like retired guys that were there that were on set. That were some of the extras in that, and that's their like extra retirement. Like
exactly. That's what it's for me.
Yeah.
And the good part about it is it's not like comedy where you go, oh shit, I have to. It's you could be picky about what you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
But the good thing about what he's doing is when you join SAG, you can't work any non-union stuff. Right, so what happens is you get into a new upper level of where you're doing commercials, but instead of getting paid like $100 or $200 for the day, now you're getting $4,000 for the shoot.
Right.
Okay. Now there's agent fees. There's all other stuff that you can get. That's the only way that you can make a living doing this. I don't think there's any way. I tried. I worked 14 hours a day one time for a Jamie Foxx movie. And I went home with, I don't know, $600. It's like, wait, that was 42 hours of work. Should be more than that. And, it isn't.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
All right. No, I'm saying I agree with you. I know that one.
Oh yeah, I'm wishing your son luck to get to that level.
I appreciate that, and I'll let him know so he can appreciate that.
Absolutely, and
he's sick of paying that mortgage. No, I was going to say before I say my plugs. When I got to the Rodney's thing, High Pitch Eric was outside.
Oh yeah, he can't miss that guy.
He literally came up to me, and the first thing he said was, "Don't remind Kumia that I called in bomb threats at WNEW." Oh,
that's too funny. Yeah, when I talked, I've seen High Pitch 100 times, and after I stopped working for Stern, and every time it's the same thing. He just has that dumb look on his face.
Yeah.
Well, you know what happened? Right after he told me not to tell Kumia, I text Kumia.
That's funny.
But
that's
they don't
too funny.
They don't give a shit what happened 20 fucking years ago.
Exactly. And does Kumia still do a podcast?
Yeah, he's on. No, he's on. Well, he does a podcast on the new Compound Censored, which is the merge, Compound and Censor TV with Gavin McGinnis merged, and he's doing a Sunday show on WABC in New York.
Oh, cool. Are you involved in any of his stuff?
Not so far. They don't. It's very. I think the New York thing is a political thing.
Yeah, it is.
Jimmy, because when he has Norton on there, it turns back into an O&A show. I wonder if I can.
I think you should get in there because you really are. You're a perfect fit for that. And when I knew that you were friends with him, I said, yeah, I could see that. You know,
Yeah.
I don't see Dave being his friend as much, but you for sure. You know, I don't know. I'm sure you get along with him. I'm just saying that I think that you would rat-a-tat back and forth with him really good. And because I saw it, I didn't see Dave there. So, you know, I'm just saying that it looked like that's a good fit. And I didn't even have any idea that you even knew him. So I'm like, wait, and oh, he should know who I am. I'm sure that he probably doesn't know me, what I'm doing, but he knows me, what I've done. You know, jump on the field at the Shea Stadium, all that bullshit. You know, I worked in the same building with him for almost a year, so we saw each other. But I don't get starstruck and how are you? You know, I've seen enough of them. You know,
in contrast, I'm the biggest photograph whore when it comes to celebrities you've ever.
You love it. Good for you.
The only one who's worse than me, but the only one that's worse than me, I don't know if you know this guy from O&A, a guy called Big Kev. We had a guy called Big Kev.
No, what was he?
He started on O&A back when they first started. So they went on the air and they said, "Can anyone bring us a paddling pool?" Because I guess they're going to put naked chicks in it or something. And this guy showed up with a paddling pool like 8 minutes later.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, now he's the guy that helps people get this, and he leverages himself on. But he was notorious for celebrity pictures. Notorious. Like they would, the publicist for the actor or whatever would say, no pictures. No pictures. You can do autographs, but no pictures. So they'd have a table in the corner of the studio. This was in the old Stern studio after Stern left and David Lee Roth left. And Norton, if Norton liked the person, he'd have 18 things to sign because Norton didn't give a fuck. But fucking Big Kev got kicked off of the show because they would literally say no pictures. And he'd get pictures with them in front of everybody. Like he did it like 30 times and then he got thrown off the show. It was the funniest thing.
Oh, that's funny.
The next day I got kicked off the show because I was there the day after he got booted. And it was the guy from The Shield with the bald hair. What's his name?
Michael Chiklis.
So Michael Chiklis was in the studio. And they said no pictures, nothing. And I'm like, all right, fine. I was sitting in the Duncan booth. We used to call it the Robin Quivers Duncan booth, you know, where she used to sit. And I didn't know that the publicists were behind me. And about 2 minutes into the conversation, they're talking about dicks. And I said to one of the producers on the show, I goes, it's amazing. O&A can turn a conversation to dicks in like 2 minutes.
And I heard, you tell me if this is true. When they first moved into there, they offered O&A Howard's studio and they refused it.
No, I don't believe that's true.
No, I don't either. I don't know what. I've never been inside their studio.
No, when they went in there, it was completely empty. They gutted the whole thing. Maybe they offered them his actual setup. You know, before they gutted it, maybe that.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I heard some rumor about that. I said when they came in that they were so anti-Stern that they didn't even want to be in the same room with him. And same thing when they both were at Sirius. Howard made sure that when he got over to Sirius, that they built him the biggest thing with, you know, a car could pull right into the freaking office. I think.
Let me tell you how much of a fucking fruitcake Howard Stern is. Opie and Anthony used to show up at the same time as him to do their shows. And Opie would walk past him and say, "Good morning, Howard." And that lasted like 3 days. And then they locked the front doors and Ronnie and Howard and the security guard had to walk through because you don't have to, from the parking, you had to walk through the whole building. You know what I'm talking about? They wouldn't let anyone in the hall until Stern had walked past.
I heard that Stern had his own. I'm almost positive he had his own entrance to the garage.
He still had
to walk through. Okay, yeah, because I only go through the front.
You remember where the reception area is?
Yeah,
he had to walk through that, and Opie got locked behind the doors. You know.
Yeah, I was in Stern's area once because I wanted to say hi to I think Jubilee and a couple of the guys there. Sal, I was friends with them, and I was actually going to see. Jim Brewer and the other guy, what's his name? That we used to work for him for Raw Dog. And I walked through. They showed me where it is, and they're like, "Up, this is the farthest you can get to." And I'm like, "Oh, all right." He's already got the ego, that you can't. Now he's closing down things so he doesn't have to walk by. That's fucking just childish.
Opie nearly got fired, and he got fired right after this. But he caught a cleaning lady opening the door to that section.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to I forgot my card. Can I get in? And she let him in.
Oh.
And they went in everywhere. They went everywhere in there.
Oh, boy.
And the idiot live streamed it. That was the problem. If he didn't live stream it,
Right.
no one would even know.
That's funny, though.
It would have been different. Yeah.
My most important question is, did Cabby fuck some chick on Howard's chair at K-Rock? That's the question.
Yeah, they say that that's not true, but it might be. I think no, I'm serious. Usually when they say it's not true, they're hiding it. And I think because they had the Sibian in there and they were using it.
Yeah.
But what happened was I started the same day that John started. I was an intern. And the first day that Howard was on vacation, the first week. And then when Howard came in, he started doing his show. They moved over to 57th Street because they used to be on Madison.
Yeah.
And the first day that we went up there, they had all newspapers over all the glass. And we're like, what the hell's going on there? Because we had a show right afterwards. I was with Steve Capin and then McGriffin in the afternoon. And they were like, oh, you got to rip down the newspaper. And I'm like, this is going to be every fucking day. And they eventually left it up for the whole day because he used to put it up because he used to have Playboys come in. And if the window's open, people will be staring, oogling. And
that happened to XM on when they were just on XM before the merger. We had the same thing.
And I don't know if it's because they have to or if it would be distracting to the people inside. Probably a little of both. Like if a kid was walking by and saw Pam Anderson showing her, well, that would be nice, I guess. I wouldn't mind that. But I don't know what the reasons were. I think it was for privacy of themselves. Like they can go over a line if nobody knows what they're doing.
Right.
But that cabbie one, I think it's true.
He's dead, right? He died.
Yeah, I think he's gone. And the little guy's dead too. The midget.
Yeah.
I liked him. Fred, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fred.
Yeah. That guy's.
Yeah, he's been gone for a while. And Beetlejuice is still kicking though, right?
Yeah,
he's down by like Vineland towards the Philly somewhere.
Oh, really? I'd like to. Maybe we can get him on the show with us.
Yeah, Lester Green.
Yeah, I think all we'd have to do is pay him like $5.
Yeah,
pretty much, and give him a ride.
Exactly, and that's what Howard. That's the fucking thing about Howard is he was so fucking cheap to those guys. When he moved over to XM, I think he got the $500 million deal, which was all stock deal, by the way. But he was paying Sal like maybe $60,000 a year, and that's nothing.
I hope Howard sold that stock. Have you seen what it looks like now?
No, he tried to sell it early, and they said, "Well, we're serious."
That's not how it works. When you have a deal, you can't sell it for
you can't for 3 years. He tried to sell it after the first year, and the reason was because he knew that it wasn't going to be worth anything. Like it's worth nothing now.
Right.
But whatever.
He might have sold every penny of that shit.
Yeah, and look at what he doesn't put out anything relevant anymore at all.
No,
and that's sad.
Well, not since Artie.
Nothing. Yeah, there's nobody whack packers or anything anymore. It's just I don't even know does he do any live shows anymore?
Yeah, like 3 a week for like 10,
yeah, and then he plays reruns, and then they have Howard 101, and it's just not funny anymore.
No, and hasn't been for a bit.
All right, I gotta get out of here.
All right. Yeah. I'm sorry I took so long.
No, you're good. You're good.
I
Can't wait to do this again. Can't wait to do the show. We'll get this.
Absolutely. We're going to get together soon. And I appreciate you guys having me on. And keep going. And good luck to your son there, Dave.
Thank you very much. Johnny McCarthy. Talk to you later.
Thank you so much. I wish I had something to plug, but I don't.
All right. You got Daredevil.
Next time. Daredevil. Born again.
Now
See
he's
you guys
not going to be
later.
in it. Now he's not going to be on camera. Now he said that.
You watch it. They're going to cut out my whole scene. Thanks, Dave.
Take care, man.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Later. All right. That was fun.
Yeah, I got shit to do.
I know. I gotta get the hell out of here. I'm gonna
I had to go pick up before I did the show. I had to go. My wife got a foosball table from somewhere for someone donated, but it's like a real high end one. Like you need 4 people to lift it, not like a fucking Walmart $100 one.
Right.
They measure this thing, and they're like, it'll fit in my brother-in-law's plumbing truck. So I just drove to get it. They didn't measure the handles that stuck out the side.
Of course not.
So it didn't fit. And then we're like, well, we can take the handles off. And I looked at it. You have to take the handle off, and then you have to unscrew the 3 little dudes that are on each pole. And I'm like, yeah, no. I ain't got time for
Hold on a second. I just want to go with the outro, then we can get the hell out of here.
Yep. I got stuff to do. So.
Good night, everybody.